production classic. Hey.
On a clear dancer. Got on this Savajeta. And when my poor there. Because who said to the dead, I don't belong. I'm gone. My dad from the plane that I'm die. When you get my work, and so, where? All up on the gun was over. I do know that's a not in Yoba. I do know that's a not in Yoba. I do know that's a not in Yoba. For I know that's a not in Yoba. Peter Cabra know that's a not in Yoba. Dawson Killer know that's a not in Yoba. Bodawa. Boreo, in the Green Bessa, oh, my Boreo. Boreo, in the Green Bessa, oh, my Boreo. Even the Grandos was over. Even the Grandos was over. Not even the Grandos was over. All right, the Tina was a maoba. All right, the Tina was a maoba. All right, Junior was a maoba. I'm on your Grandia, oh, not the best in one word, you. On your way,
Good afternoon. I'm Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. To want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for joining us here this evening. It is a double-packed program. The first segment, I'm going to be taking you to the United Kingdom and then back to homeland Liberia. And this one here is a traditional song. They call him Sabaje. He's based in the nation capital of Monrovia, making an impact here this afternoon. I'm Alfonso Zayn, so we want to welcome our viewers, listeners, far and near across the globe. You are on the Diaspora Informative News outlet, Liberia Public Radio. Stay tuned.
I'm a brother, Mosivia, over. Mana baby, pressure won't hold you. All on your person, what you are over. And you are your wedding.
All right. We're going to be very shortly. We're going to be joining our guests here, joining us from United Kingdom. I'm Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV to want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you to wherever you are in Liberia, any part of the world. We say welcome. This is the Diaspora Informative News Magazine, Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. My guest is already here, standing by. Very shortly, I will be going to United Kingdom, where we're going to have a Liberian, a professional. He's a medical doctor. Creating diverse conversations right here on this Informative News Magazine. Stay tuned. I will be right back. I am Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. I will be your guest. Okay, happening now from the New England Bureau in the East Coast of the Liberia Public Radio, specifically from the ocean state of Rhode Island. I will be linking control right now. My guest is standing by in United Kingdom, a true son of the soil. LPR exploring the means and possibility to give government and local national leaders the signal to tap into the expertise of Liberians across the globe. Government and national leaders and local leaders have to be smart, including all of us as a citizen. And this is why Liberia Public Radio, it is in the business to all go all out to tap into the expertise of Liberians that are willing to work, but nobody is placing a phone call. And we're here to intercede to create that talking point. Let me go to United Kingdom. The time is already taken away, and let's bring in our guest. He's a true son of the soil, Dr. Flahn. Dr. Flahn is now joining me from United Kingdom, right there in UK. Let me see here. Hopefully we can get him. Good afternoon or good evening. Are you there?
Good evening, Mr. It's a pleasure to join you.
Okay. All right. Hopefully, that camera, I really want the people to see the face of the guy. So, hopefully, that camera will do a good favor here this evening. Again, I want to thank you so much for joining us here on LPRO TV, Liberia Public Radio. This is what we do. We always like to reach out to talk to people that have the expertise and to create a talking point. The resume is so impressive. It's so huge. I'm not sure what I'm going to do adequately to create that talking point to introduce this man who is serving humanity. Can you do that for me?
Yes, I'll try.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
My name is George Ninneh Flahn. I am from Grand Juda County, born in Zwedru, and I did my primary education in Zwedru. Then I matriculated to the high school. First, I was at St. Philomena's Elementary Catholic School. Then from there, I got a scholarship to go to Carroll High School, which is another Catholic school that was in Ninneh. I was sponsored by a group from the United Kingdom, Christian Brothers. A school, in fact, not too far from where I am now in Liverpool. They sponsored me through high school. When I graduated from high school, I was the valedictorian of my graduating class. And I was honored, well, that graduating class was honored to have the President of the Republic of Liberia at the time, Dr. William Arrow Talbot Jr., to be our guest speaker. Cut a long story short, after delivering my valedictorian address, when they had a reception for Dr. Talbot, he called me onto his table and they offered me a scholarship to go to University of Liberia.
Wow.
Should I stop there for now?
Wow. I think the day is all yours, and we are determined to get as much adequate information. Graduated from the AME Dakliata Medical College as well from Liberia.
Yes. So I spent 2 years at the main campus university to do a pre-medical program. We said in 2 years. I think I was the first person to do it in 2 years' time. And then went to the AMWT College of Medicine, where I graduated from, well, in 1977, graduated in 1981. After doing your internship, then you are asked to go up country, to go up country in the rural part of the country.
Let me just intercept you. Is it possible to switch to a device so that we have a clear picture? Is it possible you can make that transition and come back in?
To come back in, to go on to a computer or something.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
And you can use that thing, and the link is still useful.
The same link you gave me. Okay.
Yeah.
So carry on. I'll go and get a laptop that will come back.
Okay, just come on.
Okay.
All right. Okay, let's see here. Folks, just bear with us. We want to see here whether we can get a good visions of Dr. Flahn. Is a Liberian, and by the way, he's a Grenadian, based in the United Kingdom. You heard that. He was a valedictorian, and after his speech, the former president, the late William Richard Talbot, I call his attention that this country boy, he needs something. There's a need, there's a potential in him, and he needs to go for a follow steady. What am I going with this thing here? We have to be smart. We have to do what is right to make sure everything is okay. I am Afonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Stay tuned. I will be right back.
gentlemen, please give me your attention. The BK's virtual concert at all times will be unleashed on the diaspora informative news Liberia Public Radio, LPRA TV, on August 9, 2020, in collaboration with the Jubilees Production. Oh yes, my muff is worrying and can't wait. The concert will be featuring big names in the gospel industry from Liberia, USA, and Europe. It's under the auspices of Martin E. Ramsey Memorial Academy with the caption Build the Bridge. The foundation organizer wholeheartedly counts on your blessings for the work in Liberia. Fundraise will go 100% to the work of the nations in Liberia. Our work includes feeding the widows, single, and the elderly, and more importantly, for the completion of the school project at the cost of US $15,000. COVID-19, the work of the foundation must be addressed. Get ready as we peruse the names of the artists to be live before your very eyes on August 9, 2020. The crew will be led by Minister Rose Kofa, Otis Weah, one into Boardwalk, Dennis Joma, Joseph Bass, Miata Kamara, Matthias Salif. That's not all. Waiting here more. Merlin Myers, Case Praise, Lucio Salif, Samuel Ba, Maya Montebala, Wayne Joy, Abraham Tape, Rose Winter, Last B, Prince Shimon, and Marvin the Gunzo. Folks, it will be spiritually filled and musically entertaining. But remember, it's a fundraiser. Now to wrap it up, the owner of the microphone, and the one who does it right behind the mic, LPR England Bureau Chief Alfonso Ziens from the Ocean State of Rhode Island will be the protocol officer in charge to be assisted by Precious Ladies Kofa of Norway will be live to complete the task. Tell the organizer, the artist across the globe. I am Alfonso Ziens of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV gives you this message. See you on August 9, 2020 live on www.liberiapublicradio.com. Come with the spirit of giving. I will see you there because I will be there. It's the biggest musical explosion in the history of www.liberiapublicradio.com. Be there.
All right. It's okay. There you have it. That's a big musical concept. Will be unleashing right here on the 9th of August. That's this coming Sunday. What a special way to observe Sunday right here from the Ocean State of Rhode Island. That's a Jubilee Productions. We're going to have 20 artists in a virtual concept. Be it coronavirus, no coronavirus. The work, the missions of the Lord has to go on. And these are folks who are in finding solution to what is ongoing in Liberia. They are non-politicians, they are gospel artists, they have solidified themselves, they have come together from Liberia, from Europe, and that of right here in the USA. So let's see here, my guest is back here. So folks, just stay with all. That's right here on the 19th. We're gonna be right here. They will be with us. Let me just see it. Can I still see his image here? Hopefully, our guest will be here. He's already here, but I can't get his image to bring him on live here. So, folks, just bear with us here. Let me see. Getting a signal here from main studio of the echo. So, if that's the case, let's join this. Main studio, just keep me in touch as I try as much. Okay, let me see here. I believe our guest is here. Let's see if we can have him on.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Are you there? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm here now.
Okay. All right. We guess we got to keep the ball rolling. It doesn't matter where it is. I think what is important, the message I contain, that's what is important. Okay, Dr. Flahn, thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon and evening your time from UK to be here. We're just going to get the ball rolling right now. And let's start from where you pick it up from. It was at the function where you came in contact, or the president came in contact, the former president, Dr. William Arrot Tabo. Yeah,
Okay.
that was after your speech. You said?
That's what I was the valedictorian of my graduating class from high school.
High school.
And Dr. Tolbert was our guest speaker.
Mm-hmm. That's
so
quite.
After the graduation, at the time I was in LAMCO, so because of being president and came into LAMCO had a big reception for him.
Mm-hmm.
And during that reception, they usually have these high tables for all the dignitaries.
Right.
So then the president then asked, where is the valedictorian? So somebody came to look for me and carried me on the high table.
That was the president making that kind of request.
Yes.
Where is the valedictorian?
Yes.
Wow.
So then they came and looked for me and took me up to the high table.
Is that what these guys are carrying me?
Yeah. Went to that table. I sat next to Jackson Hebdo. He was the Minister of Education at the time. So I sat on that table, did all the speeches, everything else. And the president turned to me and asked what I wanted to do after high school. So I said, I wanted to go to university, but I didn't have any means. Coming from Nigeria, my dad was just a nurse aide. I had a Catholic scholarship to go to the high school, and I didn't know where I was going to next. So he said, what do you mean? So I said, I don't have a means of going to university. So he turned to Jackson Hebdo, who was Minister of Education, and said, give this young man a scholarship. Cut a long story short, that's how I went to the University of Liberia to do medicine. Because he asked me what I wanted to study, and I said I wanted to do medicine.
Okay, so it's important, and this is what we always try to create a diversity on this network here, because there is so much out there. There are some really good narrative story out there. Until Liberian can be a little bit put on your thinking cap and look out for good Liberian who can contribute and maybe follow the path of former national leaders, regardless of our political differences here. Let's dwell on this here a little bit, and we're going to come to the real issue here. So when you were approached, it came to your mind who this person here? Why is the president calling me and all of that? What was the first reaction?
I couldn't believe that the president of the Republic of Liberia would be looking for me. And I guess because I was the dukes of the class, he probably wanted to talk to me. So I was flabbergasted, as they were saying in this country, that the president of the Republic of Liberia would ask me to go and join his table. But I did.
I don't mean to sound mean here. Did the president ever ask, who is this guy? Where are you from? Which part of Liberia?
Yes.
Was that question?
Yes. That question came. So while we're on the table, he asked me, where are you from? So I said, I'm from Zwedru, Grand Jide County. And at the time, John G. Ramsey was then superintendent of the area school system in Lamco. And he was also on the high table. Ramsey is from Grand Jide. Was from Grand Jide. So when I said I was from Grand Jide, the president said, oh, Albert T. White. At the time, Albert T. White was superintendent of Grand Jide County. And they were all Baptists in the Baptist conventions. So he said, oh, that's what Albert T. White superintendent. I said, yes, sir. So he said, okay. Then, of course, he asked me what I wanted to do next. And I said, I wanted to go to university. What do you want to study? Medicine. But I don't know how I'm going to get there.
That was a conversation with you and then former President William Arrot.
Yeah.
Was it a surprise to you?
Completely. Completely. Well, I'm never met a president before that time.
Do you still see that? Is it happening today? When you sit down, you went through the path to get you to be where you are. If you look today and yesterday of lately, do you see that sort of visionary in our leaders to go out there to find potential people?
Potential people. But I've left Liberia almost 30 years ago. But just to go back to this story, when Sobel when he left where I was, they went to a Baptist convention, and he met Superintendent White. Then he narrated the story. I can't believe this, that the president will remember that he has met somebody from Grand Jita County and told Abba White, I met one young man from your county. Abba White came to Zwedru and started asking people, who is George Flahn? Then his wife, who also taught me when I was in elementary school, said, oh, but you know him, he Abba Jr. and Andy, those are their children, are friends, and he's been to our house before. Anyway, when school closed that year, I went back to Zwedru, and Abba White heard I was there. They sent for me to go and see him. And he was then superintendent of Grand Jita County.
Okay. All right. Again, I want to say thank you. These are the success stories that we need to have, and people need to understand as well, so as to know what is ongoing. And one of these reasons yet, if you look at all of the network here, politics, yeah, okay, well, that's the end of the day. But I'm also been wondering and pondering what a national government like, and even our local leaders, whether they have the visions or whether they are smart to look out there for Liberians, regardless about which party they associate. And I'm quite sure the late President Tobo did not ask you people on university campus, you're for the trouble here. In fact, did you ever participate in some sort of demonstration? I'm not sure whether the president asked that question, but the president was interested in what you did, what you produced, and he saw that there was a need that this man be elevated so as to serve his country. I'm asking this to say, you are from Grand Jita, you in the UK, you are a medical doctor, and I'm going to put my people on record here. Let us care here this morning or afternoon here. Has anyone to reach out? I know the Martha Tutman Memorial Hospital is in a deplorable condition. It's all about networking, find the best all over the place. It doesn't matter what the person is from. Has anybody from the county? They know who is Dr. George Flahn. There's nobody from Grand Jita, from Sister River to the other end that I don't know that. Have anybody reached out to you to say, hey, this is what is ongoing on? Can you connect us with your medical institution that you're working for, so that even if there's an old bed, that you can send it to us or to establish a connection? Anybody ever did that by mistake?
No. But just before I come to that, another thing I should say is that one of the reasons I went into medicine was because I wanted to become a doctor and go to Zwedru to work. When I graduated from medical school, I did spend 2 years. I went back to Zwedru and spent 2 years in Zwedru, working in Zwedru at the same Martha Tutman Memorial Hospital. So I spent 2 years there before I came back and decided to come abroad to go and specialize. But no, nobody has contacted me whether I wanted to go back to Zwedru or there anything that I could do now.
Now, even the administration from the Martha Tutman Hospital, the very hospital you went back to run up.
Things have changed. Before all the trouble started, because I left before that time. I did go back to Martha Tutman, and we even tried to. Then I became part of when I came to the UK, I became head of the Grand Jita Association in the United Kingdom. After the war, there's so many Grand Jita, as you know, travel all over the world. Lots of them also came to the UK. So I became head of the Grand Jita Association. I helped to start that organization. And we did do quite a few things. We did send some things to Martha Tutman. And even after my tenure, there's another young man who came and became head of the association. And he also, we did raise some money and bought some things that they sent to the hospital from from the UK.
So, I mean, fair to mention that they know that you exist and they know that you are around.
Oh, yeah.
So, what's about our lawmakers?
Nope. No, the only person, among the lawmakers, that is a part of my journey. There's an older brother of mine, concerning a big brother called George Bulley, because he's also one of those. We haven't reached to how I came to the UK yet. We're just talking about high school, but he was one of those people too who was instrumental in me coming to the United Kingdom to specialize. So he and I've been in touch for other personal reasons.
I am my brain, and I am kind of like and the local government nothing, national government nothing, and I'm quite sure Liberia do have a representative. I do not intend to inject politics here, but when it is necessary, please forgive me. We have to do it. We have to. These people, they have to be smart. All right. This is not a politics business. Liberia, the success of UK, I haven't been there, but this America here is the kind of people that put together to get a piece of job done. They are doctors, they are people, they are professionals, and you have to tap into the expertise of these people. But they don't do that. When I see what is happening today, the future generation and people still, they want to be senator, they want to be a councilor, they want to be representative. It is painful because these people do not have the vision. They just work every morning, they want to do something, but they are unable to tap into the expertise. And I know there are other professionals, Liberians, all over the place. And that's why we try to embark on this. Since they can't do it, even though we're paying our taxes, we have to be census in their hair. So you are sort of Grand Gideon. Even though they have not reached out to you, that what do you intend to do? Even though this is happening, and you say you can't mind the ugliness of the bamboo, and no babu for a child, but it is painful, and I'm disappointed to see my local and national leaders are up to this time that they know a Liberian. In fact, it was the former president, to add insult to injury, Dr. William Richards Talbot, that tapped into your expertise and said, this guy, I believe there was a potential that he sees in you that is making something. And you justify that based on where you are today. And nobody get the guts to reach out to you and many others. We have heard this story over and over.
Okay. We only talked about my high school. We hadn't really talked about the university.
Mm-hmm.
So after I graduated from medical school, I did go to Zwedru because that one of the main reasons why I wanted to become a doctor was to work in Zwedru. Because when we were growing up as young people, a doctor came to Zwedru, only lasted 1 month, 2 months or so, and they left. And there were many days when there was no hospital, and there was no doctor at the hospital. My father worked in the hospital they call them. Everybody who works in the hospital, they call them doctor. My father was a nurse aide working in the hospital. So I grew up around the hospital. So the reason I went to medical school was I wanted to go to Zwedru and work there. When I finished medical school, as I said, I went back there and spent 2 years. At the time, George Bulley, who was an older brother of us, and the minutes together, he then asked me what I wanted to do. And I said, look, I want to go back to university, back to specialize. I want to go abroad and specialize. Then through that, I did meet the president. President Doe came to Zwedru one time and met, and also expressed my desire to come abroad to go to specialize. Then Bole then became minister of, I think first he was at the mansion, but then he became minister of education.
Yeah. I believe I think either from presidential or either
then he became minister. He became minister of education. So when I was in Zwedru, I spent 2 years. They came to Zwedru, and Bole told me, "Look, if you want to go and specialize, this is the time to do it. Look for a school or somewhere that will accept you." So I applied to many places, and then the UK accepted me to come and do my specialization. I want to be a surgeon. And through Bole, I met President Doe as well. And he then wrote a letter to the Ministry of Education so that they could give me a scholarship. So through Bole and President Samuel Doe, the Ministry of Education gave me a scholarship to come to the UK to do surgery.
So this is a very interesting story. So if I'm going wrong here or going over the speed limit, Dad, just let me know.
Okay.
Listening to what I'm hearing now, it means the government of Liberia have a substantial contribution to get you to be where you are, correct?
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
do these people don't have record?
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
the question now is the government of Liberia or their embassy, they do not keep track of their citizens. They do not have record of meaningful Liberians who can go, who, when it comes to crisis or events, we are in a digital world that they can get some sort of advice from. They do not have that record, or when they finish, they just throw them away.
Yeah.
Up to this point in time, that nobody has reached out to you. Not only you, but there are many others here. We have
Yeah, probably.
we have dentists. I'm disappointed.
Well, I'm sure there's so many people, maybe there's so much government can do, and I'm sure as an individual, we also can play our part. I have gone to, before that, and the reason why I'm saying, when you come somewhere, you're a young man, you come, you get married, you have children got to go to school, country is still unstable, and by the time you look, the years have gone, and you settle roots. And then it became so difficult to say I'm going to pluck my children, my wife from school and go home. But in spite of that, I have been to Liberia several times. One of the things I'm interested in teaching, I've been to the medical school where I have taught in the medical school, and did little contribution that I can make. And when we do go, you can carry so much, but not anything that you can carry. And I went to Zwedru, took some stuff that we gave to the hospital, but that very little that you can do in that respect.
I don't know. I see this to be, and this is why I'm not friendly with politicians, because it's all about themselves. And that's why for us here at LPR, we tend to do it. So we talk politics, but we try to inject the diversity that makes up a society, because in the absence of that, society is incomplete. Now, I know you haven't, I'm not sure whether you've been back lately, but you monitor news, family members are in Zwedru, your own county, your own city, and people are living from Zwedru to come to Tapeta, to come to House.
Okay.
I mean, let's call it as it is. All right. What is responsible for that? Zwedru is a city. It's nothing wrong with going to Tapeta, but look at the road condition now and see how the country is going. If you call your family members, what do they tell you?
Everybody is complaining things are so difficult, and it's really disheartening because people are dying from very simple things. Like one of my cousins just died recently after having a simple hernia operation, and that really breaks my heart. But these are things that people shouldn't die from, and then to take people from Zwedru to Tapeta with road condition. And I've been on that road myself twice now. About 2015 and 2018, I had to go back. First to go bury my dad, and second thing, my mom was with her. We had to take a body to Liberia because she wanted to be buried in Liberia in 2018 to take up. And the road is terrible. The road is terrible. I can't imagine how to carry a sick person from Zwedru to Tapeta, the road alone. So no wonder people don't survive when they make this kind of journey. Very unfortunate.
Wow. I don't know. Do you have any specific plans? Even though these people, they do not have the vision, they are not far-sighted, they do not think about the good of the country. And I can, let's say it is my own word, it is not on you. These politicians, they do not have they do not have our country at heart. These people, they are heartless. I can say the government position or the opposition, all of them, or they want to preside over state resources. Because you work with a huge medical facility. You are a sergeant. And I just can't think about many others, even right here in the USA and other people. Why is the government of Liberia can create something, cannot create a network to spot the potentials of Liberian? You don't have to be a Liberty Party, CDC. There are a million useless parties in the country. They're just all about themselves. Why these people cannot even have a second thought and tap into the technocrat and professionals that are out of the country and say, hey, even though we didn't pay your school fee, but the government contributed significantly to get what
you never get to me, somebody like me.
Yeah, and there's no reason that you don't want, but you can't force yourself on them because you have to be part of their corrupt system, which of course, like you are, follow you a lot. You would not want to compromise that. And maybe that's one of the reasons they don't want to reach out to people.
Well, I think we too have a responsibility. Like I said, one of the main reasons why I stayed in the UK was at that time, things were so difficult. You couldn't go back to Liberia. Then you get married, you have children, but now my children are grown. And I'm also approaching retirement age. And I still plan to return back to go back to Liberia when I retire and even go to Zwedru. Because the primary reason I became a doctor was to work in Zwedru. I just thank God that at least I had those 2 years after I left medical school that I spent in Zwedru working there as a doctor. But I still plan to return back to Liberia when I retire.
To contribute. But fair to mention, we're being joined by our man, Breakthrough is the chief flight technicians of the Liberia Public Radio, is currently in Liberia. And that's the same thing he was talking. And we don't, I'm sorry to say, we don't like our own. I saw them going to Nigeria or Burkina Faso to bring doctors or whatever. When you have your own people that you can't even tap into their expertise. So even if you're giving the money to Nigerians or Burkina Faso, don't get me wrong, these people are very nice. They intervened during our civil crisis. They saved my life. But that same money, it's not free. If you think if they are called Liberia, if they call you guys, you will not even ask for 1 month break and say, hey, I have to go serve my country.
Yeah, like I said, I'm approaching retirement age, and once I retire, I plan to return back to Liberia.
Okay, let me go to Breakthrough. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Are you getting me?
Loud and clear. Okay, but I'm being joined by our man, Musa. Breakthrough is a young man, technocrat, who is very, very talented, skillful, doing everything possible. He has worked for United Nations in the technical field. And that's the same conversation. Breakthrough, you guys were on today. Our people, they do not value their own. They prefer to go get outside children to do their work. This is the same thing we are talking about, Breakthrough.
Yes. Last week I was in Grand Judea County, specifically between Ninneh and Duoji town. Mm-hmm. I made a stop at the Duoji Community Clinic where I spoke with the OIC, and honestly, I don't want to tell you the report I got from her. I'm trying to make a documentary out of it. I think I discussed it with you few nights ago that I just from Zwedru, and I stopped at about 4 to 8 different medical centers in Grand Judea County, starting from Ninneh. I went down to Duoji, going down to the capital city as well. And there are a lot of things that I heard. You will not believe that the OIC of Duoji Community Clinic, I mean, it is I mean, she expressed some things that she gave a lot of things in appreciation to you people who are in the diaspora. Firstly, there was some food donation done the last time, about 100 bag of rice, if you remember that. And there was some drugs that were sent. Those drugs are still being used right now in the Duoji Community Clinic. I got footage to that. I got video footage to that as well. And I mean, it's something that, I mean, I don't know what else you say we need to pray about or we need to fast about, but I mean, Liberia need to make another move if we must go forward to take this nation in a 173 years as we claim it is.
Wow. So, We have Dr. Flahn, who was a son of Grand Gita County. You listen to the story. It was the president, the former president of the Republic of Liberia, because he was a valedictorian of his class. And apparently the president listened to him. And the president saw that there is something unique in this young man. So he gives him the support to advance his education. And I'm surprised up to this time, not even the administration of Exuedru or not even the government of Liberia, nobody has reached out to him to say, hey, we invested in you. It is time for you to come back. Even though he's been going out of his own volition or his own will to teach, to do whatever services, but nobody has reached out. It's just the same conversation you were on this morning.
Actually, Uncle Afonso, this is something that Liberians around the world, government, need to look at with open eyes. It will shock you to know that sometimes you do a particular work in a particular government entity and you go back after a few weeks and you realize that the document cannot even be given to you. Talk less about somebody who has been on a government scholarship for all those years. They can't even remember that government invested in this man. Let's use his brain to develop Liberians. They can't even remember that, because when a government comes, he or she comes with the mind of, not relating to any other persons that have started. They want a new thing. They want to do myself, me and myself government leadership. And it's becoming a problem, because if Liberians were invested into, like the uncle sitting down there was sent abroad to learn, that man is fresh. He could be used to benefit his people. But if you ask our certain government now or government after this one, they don't even have a record of that old man sitting down there, whether he have ever benefited from government ministry. So it is just something that media practitioners need to keep talking. Maybe one day the sky will open and God will help Liberia, honestly.
Don't give me a wrong perception here. No sky can open. We have to go. I don't like those sort of things. These people got to be smart. They got to do what is right and tap into the expertise here. And we will keep beating this drum in their ear. I'm too sorry if I'm sounding very harsh here. That's who I am. Beyond camera, off camera, I say sometimes my guys that I work with, they call me whatever name they call. I don't care. We can't keep petting until we all go down the drain. Now, do you intend, since they have not come, they have not reached out to you, Dr. Flahn, do you intend to? So let me ask you, not even the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Health as well? Nobody ever plays a phone call?
No.
Wow, I don't know.
But remember that at least a bit. I'm sure there are so many Liberian professionals that are abroad. There's so many doctors, lawyers, engineers. And I guess unless you are looking for a job, maybe, and then approach somebody at one of these ministries, they probably don't know about all of us. And as I said, in my own case, one of the reasons why I couldn't return to Liberia was because of family commitments and things like that. And if you work here, at least if you wait until you reach retirement age, you can get your pension. It's easier. And I'm just reaching to that point now. And I do plan to return to Liberia as soon as I get my retirement. I plan to return to Liberia because I still think that I owe Liberia something that I should pay back.
Yeah, honestly, and that's one of the reasons. And I know we'll talk behind the camera. You're not a politician. You're a professional person, and you're not a person with profession. Those people who don't have anything that they don't want to be joining party, they're running all over the country. All the 25 parties they have joined in simply because they do not have profession. So they want some sort of political accommodation. And that's how the behavior of the advocates here, because all of them, this is just the same old people. Breakthrough, you're laughing. This is a very serious matter.
Yes, I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm actually laughing because laughing is my way of strengthening myself when I'm hurt. I use smile. But this is something that is eating up our own generation, and it has been eating up Liberia for many, many years. And like I will say to you again before I go off the line, to our father over there, thank God you have decided to come back home. Liberia really need you. Liberians are waiting for you. And I will advise you, if you will take my little advice, your personal achievement that you have earned, including the one government also invested in you, you still owe it to your people. And we need your idea, we need your assistance, we need your capability to take Liberia from one stage to another.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay. This network here, you are a citizen of Grand Jeddah County. You know, certain times, the only thing that I used to hear from the Liberian people, and I think that concept now we have undo that concept. I am 100% French message sample crime. All Liberian people, and I can say that because all they we knew from Dota, everybody were army. You were not an army guy. You are a smart student. Talbot saw you. Talbot was not a crime man, but Talbot saw something unique about you. That this guy, when this country invests into him, we shall reap it. I wish he was maybe around. I won't have a reservation that he was going to call on you. Say, wait a minute. If he can remember and have that conversation with a superintendent, for the superintendent to go and find you, where is this young man by this name? That is, it is quite amazing. And I know there are many other stories to yours still out there. And that's why we'll be all out to look for people with amazing story, people that brings a lot to the table and put it there. It's level then to decide. Let me just ask you here, you are now a politician, but you are involved with the Grand Jeddah Association. You don't have no reason in UK, you serve as the head of them, put them together. Something unusual, something happens recently in Grand Jeddah. Did you hear that about that? What about nonsense that went on?
Yes.
Yes. Are you prepared to speak to that?
Yeah, definitely. I was very appalled by when I read that in the post in the media that somebody would stop aspiring candidates that they should not enter the city or do. That's completely absurd. I've never heard anything like that in my lifetime, and it's really, and it's also embarrassing as some of us from Grand Jeddah who think broadly to see that our people will behave in a manner like that. I thought was very appalling, completely, and I denounce that.
All right. Well, if I caught you unaware of this, but you are intellectual, and this is what we are saying, but we still have some other people who arguing, who still find themselves in the fantasy land. They do not understand today's reality, that indeed it must be, they must drown either themselves into George Weah, that the only way George Weah, look, Grand Jeddah is not a republic, it's a county. Yeah. It is property of the Republic of Liberia. What are they doing on that? If they do not understand, if Yaka Kolubai is abusing the president, is that what the anger you're going to vent to allow these greedy politicians to use these young generations, or you see them to get bags on their backs whole day, they can't get tired, they're sinking, they're not even making any room to create a vocational institution to empower them, but to allow politicians to use them. It is so saddening. I just thought it would be unfair if I can ask you to get your take on that.
No, definitely. I think it's completely absurd. I couldn't believe it when I read that in the post. I couldn't believe it.
Breakthrough, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Just to speak to that, like our father said, when that news hit up on the social media, I saw it. I was like, what? Is this really happening? Because Grand Jeddah, like I was telling some youth yesterday in my organization, School Zone Liberia, I was teaching them, I said, an individual should not be used by another individual as if you have a limited brain. Because if someone tells you, do what is wrong, and you look at it and you know that it is wrong, and you are doing it, who do you blame tomorrow when you are caught in the act? Will you say the politician did this to me, or he fooled me, or she fooled me? No, you are a Liberian. Now, if someone tell you, get on the street, demonstrate, fight this person, do this, Are they on the street with you? They are not on the street with you. So why can't you look at your own self and realize that, well, I think this is not taking us anywhere, and this is our county. The name of our county is what we try to flag up, just as we want Liberia to be known for as a peaceful nation. So if this man come here to do this, insulting the president, we speak to that is very wrong. But you are not in the capacity to fight or stop another person from coming to your county. I mean, Liberia is for everybody. It's not for you. You are only just a part. If you check Liberia history very well, you will know that that very county you are sitting in, many tribes joined together to make that county to prove that it's not for one person. You see, you got 3-4 tribes coming together to make one county to show that Liberia is for everybody. So that act, for me, I speak against it, and it is not very right for people to fight or stop another candidate from coming to their country or county to speak what they have on mind to say. We should stop that. And any other county that have that in mind to do, please, you need to stop that, because we're not backing for that. And you have the road of law. Take the law and stop using your hands to fight. That's all I have to say to that.
Yeah, I mean, quite correct. Dai, you want to come in? Because, in fact, the condemnation, in fact, we're going to be bringing former Representative William Glay here. I'm going to go into the pocket and into the wallet of all prominent Grenadians. We want to make sure we get people on record. The other council and the women to win, they have also come up with a statement that I have here. They have condemned that, but we still have some stupid people who still think they still want to be used as a goat in our place there, and they think they're going to be like they want to act like something. Look, I don't support what Yeke Kaluba is doing. It is ridiculous, and the opposition themselves, they are not even speaking to that part there. So you're going to see a pattern. CDC did it to Helen Johnson Sirleaf. They're doing it to CDC now. After CDC, another group going to come. They're going to do it. That's how the country going to be. That's how we're going to live. And it's just so saddening that the very oppositions are not even providing alternative to good governance. And the fail to realize that we have the international community right there. They are looking at them that they are babies who were in diapers, and they think that they're going to trust them to do business with them. Yes, Yeke Koluba is doing it today. The other person is doing it. Tomorrow, these people are going to bring another kind of crazy person too, who will start insulting. And then when you ask, the question will be, oh, when they put it yesterday, you thought that time for us to do it. That's the kind of pattern that we are in. How can we have a country to be developed like that?
Uncle Alfonso, honestly, I think the media are doing very well into this, because I listened to the press conference from the chairman.
Hold on, sir. Let me bring in Dr. Flahn. You say the media is doing well, the media is not doing well. I listened to T. Mas Jalake. He is not a ridiculous person. When even Yeke Koluba said he was going to, they are not media. Look, when they want to work for this political party or work for government, let them go. People who sit behind the microphone, you have the responsibility to educate and give a good sense of direction. Yeke Koluba calls, in as much as I disagree with him, but I see him to be one of the strong and brave politicians. He called, he said, I'm going back. And I heard T. Mike, did I tell you going back to Grand Jida again? You will not be killed. You as a media person, is that what you're supposed to be saying?
That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. What that group did in Grand Jida is purely wrong. And I'm glad to hear a good number of Grenadians in and out of the country condemning that. And I think that is the right thing to do. And this sort of thing shouldn't be in our politics anymore. Where people, you can have differences, but you can't stop somebody. People got freedom of speech, freedom of travel, freedom of everything in our country. So you can't stop somebody because of whatever reason you have to say they cannot enter your country. That is completely wrong. And we all should condemn it.
All right, I want to welcome my former striker, veteran striker Kai Jabot, and the Minister Consulate, veteran journalist, now Minister Consulate accredited near the capital here to Jerun Chedi. Jerun Chedi will never be behind the mic, and that kind of crazy question to us, rare meat here, team Mike that thing. You know, the politics in Liberia, I don't know. It's like, I don't understand. I think the opposition in Liberia In as much the government policy is so ridiculous as well, they need to go to the Bobby Wine School of Thought to see the tolerance of that young man, the opposition in Uganda. All right, this guy driver was killed when he was going for his campaign in his own place, but yet then stays he exhibited that sense of responsibility. They're sitting down with international cable wire, reason why there must be changes or political change in their country. How many times they are our politicians? They only just stand before either Spoon TV, Fork TV, or LPR TV with cell phone and talk, nothing tangible to report on. They are unable to sit before even Al Jazeera, CLM, or this Associated Press to tell us the reason why they want to be. It's just all about exhibition. It's so ridiculous.
Well, I completely agree with you. I think they have to change the way they do politics in Liberia. They shouldn't take it so personal. It's not a personal thing, and I think that's what I get it from these people. They take everything personal. People can have differences, but they have to put the differences aside for the interest of the country, of the county, or the party, whatever. But don't bring personal things into how you deal with your opposition parties. That's unacceptable.
So that, do you intend to maybe place a phone call to the authority at the Ministry of Health, or even to Grand Judea, to the health institution, maybe to since they can't call you and with no traveling now is very insecure to provide some sort of consultancy? Yeah. I tell you can without no any reservation.
Yeah. As I said, I recently became a doctor was to work in veterinary. I only thank God that I spent those 2 years in my early days. But I still plan to return to Liberia, and in fact to Grand Judea County as well. And I'm blessed that although I'm in my 60s, I don't have any serious medical conditions. So I still think I got a few more years in me that at least I can spend in Liberia when I retire.
All right. Yeah, we are hoping for that. We hope somebody will shoulder on your head will be listening to us, and that's what we want to do. And the reason I'm sorry if I sound so kind of a little bit here, but it hurts me to see that people that are willing to help, it's all over the place. People are willing to help and nobody wants to reach out to them because they never partake in their campaigns rally, or they are not part of them. I don't think that's how it's supposed to be. We saw here what his name is, Bill Gates was maintained here, even though he was a Republican, but he was maintained. That's the kind of country we need to have. That's the kind of country we need to have. Okay, I believe second portion is going to be here. Please, we're going to be having this conversation from time to time. Where can be a founder departing war? My second studio guest is standing by in Liberia, Representative Avake Jones. I think I'm going to empty all of my anger on him this afternoon. Let's just get ready because they are part of the whole year. So for those that are listening to us here, we're going to be a final message to them.
First, I just want to thank you very much for having me on your program. I've listened to some of the things you've done in the past. It's very informative and helpful. And I'm glad that I can spend this few time with you. I know there's a lot of potential in Liberia, and I know things are a bit slow, but I have a vision that things can only get better. And I believe that some of us who have been blessed by the country have a part to play. And I definitely hope that I will play my part, not too distant future.
All right, there you have it. Dr. George Flahn, a Liberian from the southeastern side, Grand Judea County, Republic of Liberia, is in the United Kingdom. As a matter of fact, you listen to the story. This guy, this man here, it was the late President William Richard Talbot saw his smartness, the potential in him, and say, hey, this guy, he has the ego to learn, and he does not have the financial resources. Make him to go to the university, make him to go to the college, make him to succeed, give him the scholarship. And it's good that you mentioned Dr. Bolini as well. I think we must give him the credit as well. And here we are. I hope those leaders, they must be able to also tap into the expertise of those people so that you know that they will be able to get things done. Dai, I want to thank you so much for your time. Please, we're going to be tapping into you from time to time. And if there's any other Liberians, I don't care where he or she from, professionals in the UK and in part, please let us know. Since our government can do it, since our opposition can do it, since our lawmakers can do it, we will we will go all out there to look for meaningful Liberians who can make an impact into the economic development of our country.
Thank you very much. It really been a pleasure chatting with you this afternoon. And I wish you well in your services as well.
Okay. Well, folks, I'm Afonso Ziansort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank our guests from the United Kingdom, Dr. George Flahn from the Southeastern side. Happening now. It is time to get the glove off the politicians, those people who get us to be where we are because of their lack of visions. I'm about to have a conversation. He's standing by in studio in the nation's capital, outside right there in Painesville, LPRO studio. And I'm talking about Representative Ava K. Jones, independent, non-crossover to the ruling party. We are about to have his political thought. He's now seeking for the senatorial positions of Mount Gibby County. I am Afonso Zianso. Stay tuned, and I'll be right back. Yes, Yoji Hammer, I'm quite sure you're not happy with what is ongoing. I am not happy. So I am not angry with Dr. Flahn, but I'm angry the manner in which my country is being conducted by both the government, the opposition's lack of sensitivity, their lack of interest. Yes, and somebody will say the opposition is not in authority. Yes, they're going to be in authority. So we should begin to fact check them, what they are doing, their involvement, to make sure what is right. We have to do that because there was some ridiculous statement that came from out of them, even including Henry Costa. You have CPP people in Grand Gide, and they intend to put everybody in the basket of deplorable as if people from Grand Gide, and that's not what's going to happen. That sort of rare meat that was thrown at people in the 90s and during the Civil War is no longer going to happen. We are in a digital age right now. It's not going to happen. We must call it as it is. Those bad apples, we need to go after them, and that's what I want us to do, and that's what makes me angry to say that even Grand Gide does not even have the vote. Then what the heck you send your people there? There were other true sons and daughters of Grand Gide who were there to defend Yeke Koluba. And it is their right. And I think they were doing the right thing. But to see the very opposition to come and fire into their own legs, and you have the Alexander Kumi, the Joseph Boyka, and all of those people did not even come out to also condemn that. It's ridiculous. It's telling me that these people do not have the country I have. It's all about themselves. Happening now, our guest is all set in Liberia. I'm going to be bringing Representative Ava. Okay, let me go to the nation capital of the Republic of Liberia. Outside there is the representative from Mount Gibby County, District Number 2, the Honorable Ava K. Jones, is joining me from studio team Morovia of the Liberia Public Radio. Is here joining me here this afternoon. Honorable Representative, good afternoon.
Let me say good evening. Mr. Afonso Zianso, I'm grateful to be on your platform at this time. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, I'm in a very high spirit here this afternoon, Representative, because I'm not happy with what is ongoing, and I'm just seeing this building behind me. Is that where you have your office, Honorable?
No, I don't have my office where I am now, but let me say thanks at least for your inspiration and for what you have done to have the office space in Liberia while you are in America, that people who are opportune to share this platform with you can have this space to be here at this time to propagate the good news of what is unfolding currently within our country. So let me say thanks very much that you're able to use your high-end resources to establish a mini studio in Liberia, that we have the opportunity to be here benefiting from what you have instituted.
Okay, let's get down to the wire here quickly, and we can have this discussion here again. Honorable Representative, thank you so much for honoring my invitation. I like people who are spontaneous. I call you, and the information I wanted, it come forth, because if you are not done that, I want to come right here and say it as it is. And maybe if I get in Liberia, you will hold me in contempt. But it's good that we had that good information. So my understanding here, Honorable Representative, you try to go to the upper house of government, that's the Senate, correct?
Correct, but before responding to that, let me say the content power of the legislature is not just being misused. When you invite people and they do not respond like in this form and manner in which you have invited me as a legislator, it doesn't mean I should exercise my content power on you. Wherever you are invited by the legislature and you store the invitation of the legislators, it means that as in the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia is equivalent to a content. So as per what we are doing now, based on your invitation, we cannot use a content power on you. Okay. But however be it, we want to say thanks very much for this opportunity provided us. And we are happy that you are giving us an international coverage in which we are able to propagate our agenda as an individual, our agenda as the candidate of the Congress for Democratic Change, our agenda as the government of the people of Liberia and a nation in West Africa and Africa at large. So let me say thanks very much for this opportunity.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Representative. Let me see here. Let me just bring in Mike down as well. Mike, good afternoon. Are you hearing me, Mike?
Well, good afternoon. I'm so sorry for the breaking. I'm here, Alfonso.
Okay, good. All right. Don't hesitate to come in when it means necessary as well. And just to let our audience know, Honorable Jones, we extend an invitation equally proportionally to all of your other colleagues. I'm talking about, we talked to what his name is, Senator Cooper, who is seeking re-election, Dr. Fofana, Princess, and all of the other folks, people who answered, we're going to get to it. Okay, let's start the ball rolling. How long you been representative of Mount Gibby County, Honorable Jones?
Let me extend my thanks and appreciation to the people of District 2, precisely Mount Gibby County, for affording me this opportunity that I occupy today. I am the representative of District Number 2, Mount Gibby County, and like I say and continue to say, I was opportune to be petitioned by the people of District 2 on February 17, 2017. On February 11, 2017 to contest the 2017 election, and by the special grace of the Almighty God, I won overwhelmingly with the vote of 12,568, constituting 52.6% of the total vote cast. And today, I represent the people of District 2, Mount Gibby County, So barely from when I was inducted into office, that is the 15th of January 2018 up to now, it is barely 2 years and some months. So I want to be grateful to the people of Margibi County.
Okay, Mike, don't hesitate when you want to come in. We can do it. If you can get the audio back there, do it. Okay, so now, Honorable Representative, you try to go few steps over to go to the upper house, that is the Senate, correct?
Let me say, as an individual, I believe in one ideology. I believe in the ideology and the quote from one of the famous American president in person of John F. Kennedy that states, ask now what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. And also, I believe in a Greek proverb that says, the voice of the people is the voice of God. That is being spelled out clearly in chapter 1 of our Constitution. To I am the sitting representative of District Number 2, Margibi County. But I still believe that with the potential I have, with the ability I have, if the people of Margibi County call me to serve in any capacity, be it at the representative in which they have called me to serve them at the senatorial level, I believe the voice of the people is the voice of God. And that which I accepted on the 16th of March 2020 to contest and not only be a contestant, but the winner of the 2020 December 8th senatorial election. So yes, I'm one of those that will be contesting, and not just a contestant, but a formidable force, and not just a formidable force, but the winner of the 2020 December 8th senatorial election.
Okay. The last time you were an independent guy, right?
I contested in 2017 as an independent candidate, and today I am the candidate that won on web ballot on the CDC ticket, which is the Congress for Democratic Change ticket, in the just ended July 31st, 2020 primary, and my name was being announced a few days ago as the candidate of the Coalition of Democratic Change in Margibi County.
Okay, like I said, Mike, just come in when you have any question. So, Honorable Representative, talk to me a little bit. How this whole transition came about? Are you a politician? Were you contracted by CDC to fill in that gap? You were independent and you got that 52 some more percent vote. Now you are going on side CDC ticket. Why?
My breath, I want to say thanks to the Almighty God. I'm opportune today to be representing the Bureau of District 2. My career, I am an accountant, and I have served as the proprietor and founder of Favor Marketing Incorporated. And by practice, like I told you, I believe in a quote by John F. Kennedy that states, ask not what your country can do for you, or what you can do for your country. That brought me to the political landscape of Margibi County in 2015, 2016, and originally in 2017 that led me to where I am today. In terms of my belief, I have advocated for the people of Margibi County, precisely District 2, which transcend beyond District 2, and the people of Margibi County have seen my ability and the discharge of my function as a lawmaker that have three cardinal responsibilities. that is lawmaking, oversight, and representation, because malfunction has been felt by the 5 political districts in Margibi County. The people overwhelmingly called on me on the 16th of March 2020 to contest the 2020 senatorial election. And as a believer of the people, as a servant of the people, I accepted that petition. And today, through my inspiration, through my belief of accountability, transparency, and integrity, the President of the Republic of Liberia, the Congress of Democratic Change, and the Coalition of Democratic Change have called on me to serve as a candidate of the Congress of Democratic Change, the Coalition, which I accepted and went through the primary and successfully won on web ballot.
Honorable Jones, let me just hold you there a bit. What we say, what Honorable Jones did not achieve as a representative, that now he wants to go at the level of the Senate to achieve as a lawmaker, because the Senate and that of the House of Representatives both have just similar or responsibilities.
Let me use this time to educate the Liberian people. When it comes to what differentiates the House of Representatives from the Senate, is the complement, and what differentiates the lower house from the House of Senate is that every budget, every revenue item or instrument emanates from the House. But let us look more beyond that, because one may be arguing that I have a confirmation power, and one may be arguing that I have an impeachment that emanates from the House, or I have a revenue power that emanates from the House. But we are looking at the interests of the people of Margibi County. Let me give you a scenario. Sometimes in April 2019, when a motorcyclist by the name of PCK was killed, which people believe he was killed for richer, and the caucus were being called. And at the end of the day, the government of Liberia, through the constitution and through the laws of the Republic of Liberia, needed to exercise the law, arrested citizens of District Number 5. I think in the tune of 160 persons that were put or placed in jail. And they needed some legal advice and legal representation. Abba Koklo Jones, a lawmaker of District Number 2, and were you to count the numerical strength, counting from 1 to 5, I am the lawmaker of District 2.
So
I needed to intervene. I come in 1 minute. Let me learn. I needed to intervene in District Number 5, providing some assistance to the people in which they got legal representation. More of that, when it comes to the chapter uniform, our advocacy in which that a participatory representation should not only be felt in District 2 but Margibi County at large, I believe transcended beyond District 2. Let the people of Margibi County in seeing us as a people-centered representative, which can make a better senatorial candidate, call on us not only to participate, but to be the winner of the 2017 election, which we endorse, accepted, and we are today blessed through the grace of the Almighty God, that the president, the coalition of Democratic Change, and the CDC have us as a candidate on their ticket.
Okay. All right. Honorable man, let me just compliment my question here. Are you hearing me?
I can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Okay. Yeah. My initial question was, you are an independent guy, and you now cross over to CDC. So how can you reconcile this? That we are in one of the retreats with you guys, ministers and lawmakers, according to Senator Thomas Dupi that I hosted here, that the president asked you guys specifically not to leave your places because when that happens, it creates a vacuum and the government does not have the money. Do you accept the concept of the president? Now you're going to be leaving the representative position. We're going to come in depth. What are some of your achievements? We're going to come to that. But if you win it, that means that's going to be vacant. And then it means there will be another primary there again. So do you buy the concept? Do you accept the ideas of the president? And if so, why are you making a political switch?
Let me say to you, want to commend the President of the Republic of Liberia for his blessing given me, because he's the standard bearer of the Congress of Democratic Change, and through his instrumentality today we have the Coalition of Democratic Change. The Coalition of Democratic Change is the biggest and fastest growing political institution in the Republic of Liberia. For the first time, the Coalition of Democratic Change came together to produce a candidate. And we believe that through the inspiration and ideology of the President of the Republic of Liberia, were he to push forward, and which he is pushing forward, there will be more political parties commemorating and coming to form the Coalition of Democratic Change. And with that, the CDC will remain stronger and the strongest political party ever in the history of Liberia. But to come to your question, yes, I contested as an independent candidate. I won as an independent candidate, and today I have crossed over to the Congress of Democratic Change, lending me to be the lone candidate of the Coalition of Democratic Change in the upcoming 2020 senatorial election. And let me dispel the rumors that if anyone thought, or if anyone will think, that my coming to the Coalition of Democratic Change through the windows of the Congress of Democratic Change only to become a senatorial candidate or a aspirant of the Coalition of Democratic Change, it means that they may be on a wrong footing and they may be lying to themselves. My coming to the Congress of Democratic Change is based on factors, it's based on facts, and it's based on reasoning. Let me say to you, today the opposition will make you to understand that $16 billion went missing, and went missing under the Coalition of Democratic Change government. To dispel that, let me make you to also understand that as per what we know, as per the records on ground, as per what is in our archive, the printing of the 16, so-called 16, I will call it so-called 16 billion dollars came about sometime in 2016, when there was not even a smell of election. We are fully cognizant that $5 billion was printed in 2016. The funds came in 2016 from October to December, which was being infused in the economy. 2017, under the regime a former Speaker of the House of the 53rd Legislature, in person of Emmanuel Nukwe from Magabi County, District number 5. We have the $10.5 billion. And today I stand, whether I am a member of the Congress of Democratic Change or not. I said it before and I am saying it today. As per the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, the Constitution did not say that the printing of money should be through resolution. It said that the printing of money should be to express opinion. And we believe that that was expressed mandating the Central Bank of the Republic of Liberia through an act that was passed through 1999, authorizing the Central Bank. $10.5 billion was printed. But today the opposition has paraded the corridor of the Republic of Liberia, saying that this current government has made news, embezzled, stolen 16 billion in our country.
But I mean, Honorable Jones, to just hold you there a bit, this money business was not only opposition politicians who were saying that the money got missing, but it was like, I mean, government even had to, the current administration headed by Dr. Weah, even had to call in some forensic auditor before they discovered that yes, indeed, the money, it was actually not missing, but there was the processes that led to the print of the money, it was not done the right way.
So it means that the information you are providing is not right. When the opposition took the street and marched and petitioned the United States government, and petitioned the EU, and petitioned, let's say, ECOWAS, was it the sitting government that did that?
So let
They
me
were not calling the sitting government then, but to ensure that the proper accountability is done, to ensure that speedy investigation goes on.
Let me come.
I'm saying my answer to you will be no, because the government did not demonstrate, did not petition the United States government, they did not petition the European Union, neither did they petition ECOWAS. It was a group under the nomenclature, bring our money back, that did that, eventually changed into COP, and today are formed CPP. So let us say this, Chief. To be fair to the Liberian people, our investigation has shown that this government had nothing to do with the $16 billion. And that's just the first case that landed me to the Congress for Democratic Change. Where you to give me the opportunity, I will go even more than that. But however be it, for the sake of this interview, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, Honorable, I'm not sure whether the issue of 16 billion, I don't think that's on the basis of that you went to CDC. I'm not sure if that's the case. You can let me know. But I'm coming. I will give you the chance to respond. But I think you are seeking another political journey now for the people of Mount Gibby County.
That's your anticipation. That's why you anticipate. I'm telling you, I'm giving you facts based upon my analysis, based upon my view on this government, on the opposition. I'm telling you things that led me to joining the CDC, and you saying it's not the fact, but because of my senatorial ambition. And let me make you understand. Today, I'm grateful to be a member of the Congress of Democratic Change. And I'm grateful to be a candidate. And not only a candidate, but the youngest among the 15 will be candidate of the coalition of Democratic Change. And let me say to you, if all do go well, or if all does go well, I will be the youngest when it comes to the issue of not proportional representation for a democratic election representation of the people of Margibi County comes December 8, 2020.
Is that why you contested
And
for?
I come in here, let me learn. And let me make you understand that I one person I believe that the voice of the people is the voice of God. I have represented the people adequately at the lower house based upon my just 2 year plus representation. They were induced, they were influenced, they were grateful, they were gratified, they were enthusiastic about what representation I did on their behalf.
So I'm
And they call me to represent them at the House of Senate. And I'm one person, like I told you, I believe in the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia because I was sworn in on the 15th of January 2020.
Yeah,
And I believe the
Hello?
voice of the people is the voice of God. So instituting and implementing Article 1 of the Constitution is not in any way a violation of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia.
Okay, Honorable, please, I want you to answer my question as I will ask it. And I know you politicians, you're always like a salad dressing. But here, don't prepare me a salad here this evening. Yeah? I don't eat salad. I always like to eat my rice here. You guys are on Capitol Hill. You're getting the real dinner and supper. So don't give me no salad here this evening. If I ask my question, please address my question. Now, let's get the ball rolling. You are going to the Senate. What is the agenda that Honorable Jones is taking for the people of the Mount Gibeon that I'm going to the Senate? What changes are you taking along? What is your agenda? What is the platform, or what is the vision that you have for the people of Mount Gibeon? Or is it because you want a proportional representation? Or how? I asked you earlier, why you left the independent? You were an independent guy and you got a vote of 52 some more percent. So why not going now? Is it out of desperation CDC bring you over because they need that seat? What is the deal?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. And let me say again, thanks for giving me the opportunity to sit on your platform. I believe this platform is one of the widest listened to platforms. But were you to call me here and restrict me on how to answer your question, then I believe it won't be doing me a justice. Because at the end of the day, I represent over 52% of the people of Margibi County. And after the senatorial election, I may be representing over 75% of the people of Margibi County. So were you to invite me here and only restrict me to how you want me to answer your question, then I think you won't be doing the people of Margibi County any good. But to respond to your question, like I said before, my move to the Congress of Democratic Change was not based upon me contesting as an independent candidate. I contested as an independent candidate, I won. And let us say, for free, the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia is clear in Article 15 that individuals have the opportunity to associate and disassociate with any organization of their choice. So if I contested as an independent candidate yesterday and today, through the invitation of the people of Margibi County, overwhelmingly asking me to join the Congress, the Coalition of Democratic Change, and then you want to question the people of District 2 and the people of Margibi County that elected me, then I believe you are not being just to them. But let me say, my joining the CDC is not based on a senatorial election where I have to contest as an independent candidate today. I will win. And I'm blessed that I'm contesting on the Coalition of Democratic Change because I believe in their ideology. And what are their ideology? In 2005, 2011, 2017, the president, now president of the Republic of Liberia, George Ninneh, say Bagube Foki Crack, Tape Wea, said power to the people. What did I say? I said a participatory form of representation. Are you comparing participatory form of representation to power to the people? If you are comparing the two, then it means that we believe in the same political ideology. And I have no regret through the power of the people becoming a member of the Congress of Democratic Change, through whom today I am a candidate of the coalition of Democratic Change. And let me say to you for free, were you to believe it or not, CDC will produce the next candidate, the next senator of my given county. So my move to the CDC was not based upon a senatorial move, was not based on any but the voice of the people. And we believe that we are direct representation of the people, and we have no doubt that representing the people will not bring the needed result that they want. So we are gratified that we accepted their petition. We make our way through the Congress of Democratic Change. We make our way through the coalition of Democratic Change. And now we are the candidate of the coalition of Democratic Change contesting the senatorial election. And let me say this to the opposition. As we won on the coalition of Democratic Change ticket on web ballot, it is now unconstitutional that we cannot win on web ballot on the national level. So those candidates who feel they want to participate do not get involved on the basis of participation.
But
if you feel that you cannot win,
Jones,
you want me to come here and do not. Oh my God.
I'm looking at the process, because white ballot is a process like something quote unquote that was stage managed. Don't you think it was not that way? Because you did not have any container. Don't you think you it was just stage managed for you?
I wish you were not in a position as a journalist or a politician, but unfortunately you are not. So you will perceive that the process was stage managed. So if you think the process was stage managed, then it means that Mr. Seton who contested in the 2008 by-election in District 4, Marguerite Kande, we have paid way for all the way America, that is the United States of America, to come to participate. But let me say to you, states managed, it means that the Constitution is not being observed. But because the Constitution was observed, each and everyone was given the opportunity. And people who believe in my ideology, like Honorable Daddy Gacy, who is a bona fide citizen from the day that the French of WIA was organized, who ascended to the level of even becoming the acting director of the National Bureau of Concession, wanted to contest or had to decline. And then you still see it as state managed. Look, let us be clear, let us be frank, that the process was not state managed.
So was
democratic?
Was it because of fear that they say? Is it because your political strength that they say Albert Jones is a strong man, or something that was some kind of thing went behind the scene so that people can see it to be like, yes, Albert is strong.
In politics, there is no strong man. What people believe in politics is ideology. And I believe that I have the ideology that I just told you that I share with the Congress of Democratic Change, the coalition, that says to the people, and I say representative form of representation that have led people to amalgamating towards my candidature, which led the coalition, the Congress of Democratic Change candidate backing off from the race, and the three constituent political party endorsing me as the lone candidate led me to where I am. So it's not the issue of being compromised. Let me use the word compromise. It's not the issue of being compromised, but the issue of being party discipline and the issue of sharing party ideology. That's what led me to where I am today.
Okay, we've been joined there by our national correspondent, Mr. Moses Tomba, in Kakata, Morovia. I don't know why you're having party, Moses. I hear music from your background.
Well, not exactly. I'm on the Bolala Road. I've come to visit one of my relatives.
Okay.
And then there's a set playing around the area. So.
Okay. All right. Let's just start into you, Honorable Jones. We're going to be coming to you. You in Kakata, you know the politics of Mount Gibby. Talk to us here and the rest of the audience. How is this 2020 midterm? How is it playing out there?
Well, we have the various politicians who are, fighting to ensure that they win a senatorial seat. Honorable Jones being one of those in Magibie County. As you may be aware, once I talked to you about him being one of those candidates who have been engaging a lot of people, and then he is one of the politicians that people are looking up to. Like I told you in the last interview, there are two persons. There are a lot of candidates who will be contesting this election, but there are two persons that their names are ringing in the county. One of such person is Honorable Alpha Koklo Jones. Another person is Honorable James Emmanuel Nukwe. You know, he once served as the Ways, Means and Finance chair at the Liberian, the National Legislature, especially the House of Representatives, and then he served as the Speaker. But he is one of those who wants to contest, and then the citizens have been thinking about him, the way in which things went during his tenure when he was the Speaker. Some of the statement he made, but there are other people, even though he made some of those statements and people have problem with it, but he also have followers. So the both of them I kind of like the two candidates that my Givians are looking at.
So Moses, Mark from the studio here, what can you say about Honorable Jones, that is a sitting lawmaker to contest for the senatorial post? What are citizens saying about this? Are they saying that why is it that he cannot wait for the tenure to get expired, and what are then some of the reactions towards Honorable Jones's senatorial bid in Magibie County?
Mark, as you may be aware, there will be people who will have that kind of thinking, where people will say, why should you contest when you are in a position that you contested for and you have not end your tenure? There are people who have that saying, but there are other people who are supporting the ambition of Honorable Jones. There are people who are saying, yes, Honorable Jones can make the difference with some of his developmental initiatives, one of which has to do with the linking of Dolo Town with Unification City. It is under his administration that bridge is being constructed. So there are a lot of people who are supporting his bid, but there are other people who are saying, why cannot Honorable Jones wait for his 6 years tenure to end?
Let me interrupt you. Let me say we disagree with the host of this show were he not to ask me, but rather ask you, I think I'm in a better position to answer the question than to ask you. But let me say this. Let us look at the organic law of our country. What does the organic law say? Is it constitutional that a certain lawmaker can contest an election? My answer to you is yes. If it was unconstitutional, then it means that the president and the vice president that we have today wouldn't have been president. If it was unconstitutional, it means that Sir Joseph, as a senator of Montserrat County today, wouldn't have been possible. If it was unconstitutional, it means that Francis Pay of Riverside today wouldn't have been possible. So let us now look at the sentiments. Let us be looking at the constitutionality of what we are talking. And the Constitution gave rights. And let me say, if I were, let me again say, if I were in the executive as Emmanuel Ninneh is, it means that I would have resigned. Because I am not in the executive today, I will resign, I will maintain my position and contest as a representative of District Number 2, propagating the people of District Number 2 plot and also propagating my Gibi plot. But because I am not in the executive, I wouldn't resign. It might look like I resign. So let us now restrict this presentation to whether it was constitutional, whether it was a right, or what it feels or believe in the mind of the people. We should be looking at who better represent the people. And let me make you understand. In my capacity as the lawmaker of District 2, when it comes to the issue of Firestone, I have only 3 divisions under my control. Division 45, Division 44, and Division 43. But when it comes to the issue of the just recent unfolding, who has propagated? Who has stood in the throat of Firestone and said our people will not be redundant? Who? When it comes to the people of District Number 5, when they took laws in their own hand and bring the police station and bring the court, though I do not support them, but who stood on their behalf and was able to propagate their agenda? Let me say the issue of senatorial representation, do not limit it to representative representation, because representative representation is confined within a district. But senatorial representation goes beyond the bounds of just a representative. We have been able to prove our leadership within the just 3 years, approximately 3 years, that we are capable, qualified, and able to represent the people of Margibi County.
Okay, let me come in a little bit here. This question comes about based on, let me see, I hope I'm audible. Okay, this question comes about based on the information we receive. I am not interested in what in Maya Dokwe. I call here to give you the opportunity and to get precisely your agenda. Moses is one of our correspondents. Breaking it does not mean we are coming to judge you, but to get his own perspective. So what I just need is your own agenda. Not in Maya Dokwe. We were inviting, we were extending an invitation. I am only asking this question because you are going on the CDC ticket now. And it's the CDC government, it is the president who asked you guys or those that went for the retreat that they should stay where they are. So
and let me correct what you said. It is not the president that asked us, but those that represented the party, including the district coordinators, the district representation, the county executive, that went to the primary and see our faith as the next chief. Let's understand, it's not the president that asked us. We have not even been presented to the president of the Republic of Liberia. We will be presented on the 14th of this month.
Honorable, listen to me. I understand why I'm talking. I'm not saying that the president asked you to contest, but it was the president that asked the lawmakers to stay in their position during the retreat. Were you in our meeting? I have Senator Thomas Goodby here, and the president said because there was no money. So people that are representative who wants to go to the upper house, they shouldn't
No,
create.
Chief, let me ask you.
Let's leave that. Let's leave that topic.
No, we should not leave that because there are a lot of audience that are listening to what you just said.
Okay.
The president of the Republic of Liberia and the Liberian people who has greater mandate is it the president?
But
That understand. The Constitution of the Republic of Liberia is bigger than the president of the Republic of Liberia. So if Article 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia gave the opportunity to the people to decide who, it is only an appeal from the president of Liberia, but if the people of the Republic of Liberia decide.
So then why can't you admit that the president said that? You can't tell me, say you disagree.
I wasn't part of that meeting.
Okay,
when that meeting was held, excuse me now. When that meeting was held, I was in the United States of America advocating on behalf of my people to have a modern library constructed in District Number 2, Margibi County. So I wasn't part of that meeting, but however be it, when a quorum is constituted as per our rules, we are under obligation to respect the decision that is being reached. So I'm saying, even if there was a decision that was reached, it means that the Constitution is greater and bigger than any other thing in the Republic of Liberia. So I am on oath to defend, support, and obey the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, and in my capacity that I am currently on the Congress of Democratic Change ticket to fight for a senatorial position, it means it is constitutional, and I'm doing just what the people of Margibi County are asking me to do.
Okay, okay, fair enough. It was a simple question we asked, and I just want to give you the opportunity to outline, like you talk about the library. If those are the tangible for which the people say, or for which you strongly believe that you are going to the Senate, that's what I need to know. I was not in the meeting. I'm just only telling you what the president said and what one of the colleagues said. So do you disagree or not? That's a different ball game. But let's just come to the point here. I'm interested to give you the opportunity for Liberians and the people of Mount to know your agenda specifically that you are going with now to be a senator. So what is the government? What are you did not complete as a representative for which? Is there any specific reason for which you want to go to the Senate? Because there are two basic reasons the Senate confirms and the lawmakers to make the law. So what are some of the legislation that Honorable June has put in place for which the people of Mount Gibby has so much benefited? Is there any piece of legislation that you can point to for us?
Let me be grateful to the people of Margibi for overwhelmingly calling on me not to participate, but to become the winner of the 2020 senatorial election. Those bases upon which they are relying their argument or their judgment on is my platform. I come in. You asking for my platform?
No, not
I'm saying.
I say your legislation. Any piece of legislation you have put in place.
No, let's understand the issue of legislation. You're talking about what bill have passed. Yeah. Were you to ask for bill that have passed, it means I have voted on every bill. Because there will not be a bill passed in the House of Representatives or the House of Senate without a quorum. If there is a quorum, it means that those that form the quorum must be able to vote for those legislation.
I think Honorable Jones, I think he's talking specifically about your sponsorship.
Let me make you understand. You see, that's the mistake most people make.
Okay.
I am one person that believe that there is more law that is not being exercised than there is law that should be passed. Look at the issue of the Decent Work Act. Have you understood the Decent Work Act? Have you fully seen the utilization and interpretation of the Decent Work Act? If you have understood the Decent Work Act, I mean that day to day you will be discussing the Decent Work Act on this forum. But for the fact of the matter, you have not. It means that there is a continual violation of the Decent Work Act. Let us even look at the Firestone concessional agreement. Let us look at the how they call it Farmington. So there are a lot of things. So it means that in terms of our function as a lawmaker, it does not only limit it to lawmaking, but rather I believe the greater portion of a lawmaker function is oversight. Representation on every day I go to the house, they call me present. In terms of voting lawmaking, when the budget comes, whether I the property or not, I vote in favor. I come in chief. Now understand, you are not a legislator. I am. So I must be able to explain to you because there's the perception that more people have. More people feel because they say you are a lawmaker, you are under obligation to pass a law. That's the only way. Then I will question you that there are people who have been a member of the 54th legislature, the 53rd, the 54th, that did not pass one law. Does that mean that they were not a lawmaker?
No.
No, let's understand, Chief. What I am concentrated on and what I am looking at is the oversight responsibility. You should be acting in terms of my oversight or in terms of my let's say my function, what I've done. Then it means that I will be calling you to the issue of advocacy, referencing the Farmington Hotel, when a law was passed by the 53rd legislature in which they gave the Farmington Hotel 15 years holiday, but the Farmington Hotel were not in accordance with the labor law of our republic. Who brought them to book?
Let me
I will also be calling our commander chief. You want me?
No, listen, Honorable, with due respect, we're here to have a conversation. We're not roller skating here. This is LPR here. I ask you a simple question. Legislation oversight. So, okay, oversight is a temporary.
You just use the word legislation. And I need you to understand the issue of malfunction.
Okay, let me
the issue of malfunction. So if you want to have a legislation, I will tell you that the budget law, I always voted for the budget law. Every other legislation I passed, I voted for it. If that's the answer you want to hear, but I'm telling you, I'm not here to respond to you the way you want me to respond to you. I should be able to educate our people.
So it's simply telling me you are not honorable. With due respect, you are not answering my question. Why do you want the people of Mangidi to remember you? Now you are trying to lead the representative. Are you on is it a short-term goal or is it a long-term goal approach that you are taking?
And let me say to you, hello.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example.
Hello.
Yeah. Honorable, you will speak.
Hello.
The show is for you. You will speak. I also under obligation to keep my audience up to speed here. That will bring people here. Will treat them fairly. Okay. Let's say this election, like you said, you will be elected, which is great. I wish you luck. But what do you think that the people of Mangibi will remember Honorable Jones? It is Honorable Jones because of these laws that were passed. We today at Mangibians, this is the benefit we can count on. Oversight, it comes and goes. Which committee do you have oversight responsibility?
Chief, and this is where I want to provide some education for coming to you, but you don't want to accept.
Go ahead.
In terms of what Mangibians will remember me for, let me say to you today, the over 60 years squatter right that the people of Unification Town have suffered from, for which they cannot develop. I believe they gave way to the Republic of Liberia. Under my administration, we are about to change that. And let me say to you that Unification Town has produced two lawmakers. 1997, Choho was produced under the MPP ticket as a proportional representation. In 2008, after the death of Frederick Chayu, we had Balazizi was produced as the lawmaker. He never advocated for the people of Unification Town to gain to gain legitimate title to the land and the occupier. As we speak to you today, in our reach, the people of Unification Town will be claiming will be getting legitimate title from the government of the Republic of Liberia. So do you think that should go through legislation? It does not go through legislation. You think the people of district number 2, Magimi County, will not remember me for that? Let me make you understand, it's not everything a lawmaker will have to go through legislation. I want you to understand that it is an oversight. The function of a representative, the function of the senator is no exercise over his oversight responsibility in terms of making laws. Though we are opportune to be the one to scrutinize and pass into law and go through the requirements. But at the end of the day, in terms of oversight responsibility, nobody implement that for us. An individual can propose to the legislature a law that he feels that is best in the interest of the country. But in terms of oversight, it is the legislature that should implement the oversight responsibility. So that is what I want you to understand. So in terms of what I have done with my oversight, I have done tremendously well, for which the people of Magimi County have overwhelmingly decided to making me their next senator. Not only that, when it comes to bill which you want me to say this is the bill I have proffered or this is the bill I have passed, it means that the liberalization policy, though it wasn't passed, but it was Fonatikofa of Great Cook District number, I come in now, Chief. Great Cook County, District number 2 County, Fonatikofa was the proponent of the liberalization bill, and we, I think about 19 or more representatives, served as co-sponsor to that bill.
Honorable, with due respect, I'm not interested in Fanaticofa. When I want Fanaticofa, I will break in here. I'm talking
about your question is, look, let's understand. You see,
so the answer is no.
Chief, no. Your question should be, look, let me make you understand. Legislative politics and a talk show politics are far apart. Legislative politics, you can have a proponent of a bill and you have a co-sponsor. Those who are co-sponsors are also sponsor the bill. So for you to ask me today, so I'm providing the information to you.
So the simple answer is no. I have not put forward a legislation, but a co-sponsor.
That cannot be our Chief.
It can be
that cannot be out. If that's the response you want to get from me, that cannot be the response out.
So the simple question is, you have not produced a legislation for which the people of Mount Gibi will remember.
And the simple answer is, I have co-sponsored a legislation.
What is the specific one that you co-sponsor? Can you tell us?
The liberalization policy that was sponsored by Fonatikofa and other bills that I have passed.
What does it bring to your constituent? You are there. What it bring to your constituent?
It bring elevation. It brings economic relief, it brings political relief, it brings social relief, and it brings social benefit.
There's no economic relief in Mount Gibi, not even in Liberia. You can't tell me that, Honorable.
Then you should be specifying specifically what are those things that are not being the economic relief.
People are not taking pay. There was a strike ongoing.
I can tell you, hello.
Fire some lay off people there. So what is the
and let me say to you, when you follow the Ministry of Finance, which I am not the spokesman of the executive branch of government, because according to the formation of our government, there are 3 distinct branches of government. I am from the legislature. The executive branch of government can tell you for sure that they are up to date in terms of salary payment. So you cannot sit on this platform and say government is not paying salary.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Honorable Jones, let's that's a mini Afonso. Honorable Jones, let's look at the issue of the Firestone redundancy. Many a time people who work for Firestone Liberia have been redundant. The latest one, how far are we with it as a lawmaker from the Firestone bill? How far are we with this? Because recently Firestone had a plan to redundant at least 374 persons or people from their own employment.
Then you can bear me witness, and at least you are able to follow my activities and that of the government position. Yesterday, I was one person that spoke against the cancellation of pension for over 4,000 persons who have been redundant, who have been retired before the passage of the Decent Work Act in 2015. Today, because our advocacy, that issue is before the Supreme Court. And days from now, we will not rest. We will continue to propagate and call on the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia to pass a judgment in which, if the management of Firestone is right, for not concluding a discussion with the national management to shut up the responsibility of retirement of the over 4,000 employees is right, then let the Supreme Court come up with a ruling. If not, let the Supreme Court be able to come up with a ruling. Okay. Telling the management, chief, if you don't want me to land there, it means that there's no need of being here. The individual or the co-host asked me a certain question which I'm responding to, so give me the opportunity. Firestone Liberia redundant over 8,000 or 4,000 persons in which they deny, let's say, pension benefit. That was a crucial issue that even led the cutting of trees on the farm. Had it not been my intervention, I wouldn't say that today maybe there would have been demonstration. But because of my intervention, at least the people were calm and went back. So that issue had not been resolved. Even today, we continue to receive call. So he asked the question. I am saying to him that we are calling on the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia to ensure that a judgment is passed, because there are people, over 4,000 of them, who have been denied only because there was not an agreement reached between the management of Firestone and NASCO that could determine whether those people can get 30% of their 5 years benefit from Firestone and at the same time get it from NASCO. But Firestone is relying on the Decent Work Act. We say that if you are in compliance with the Decent Work Act of 2015, it means that you are not, let's say, obligated to retirement benefit. And let us understand, our laws are not retroactive. That whatever law that was passed today, it means that if it was in effect yesterday, it cannot affect those people that were benefiting yesterday. That's what we are saying here. So in terms of our position on the issue of Firestone, Firestone was being made to understand that she cannot violate our law and go free. And as it relates to the 374 persons that should have been redundant, our position was very clear. That when it comes to redundancy, Firestone of Liberia should either be closing a department. If she not closing a department number one to redundant the people and at the same time, to rehire them as contractor, denying them of the concession right that they have, we want to say to the management of Firestone, they are in complete violation of the concession. We will not stand by that and we will not support them. That is our position on that.
Okay. All right. Now I give you the. Moses, are you there? Moses, you gotta unmute your mic. Let me see here. Moses, are you hearing me now?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Okay. You.
Yeah.
Let me quickly here. Let me ask a question. Okay.
I have okay. I have a question for Honorable Jones, who wants to be the senator of Margibi County. The question is, you have served for 2.5 years now. What are some of the developmental initiatives you think Margibians can now see and say, yes, we are carrying Honorable Jones as our senator, and we know that what he has done in his district, he can be able to do more in the county.
Moses, you are aware, you have followed me, you have followed the politics of Margibi County even before I became a representative of District Number 2. One thing you will understand that we have brought transparency and accountability to Margibi County. We have been able for the first time to remit 50% of our salary for direct district development. Evident by that, you can see the district office for the first time in the history of Margibi County to be constructed. Not only that, Margibi County District Number 2 did not have any district development council because I believe in a participatory form of representation. Today, we have a district council. Just yesterday, while I was in District Number 5, attending to students, the district development council was in District Number 2, to be precise, Charlesville, enriching the groundbreaking ceremony of a project that cost over 46,000 United States dollars from the remittance of my 50% to the district. Most of that, when it comes to advocacy on behalf of the people, we have been able to stand up to whoever that believe that they can have a country in a country to tell them say your action is wrong.
Okay.
Be it the China Union, be it the Farmington Hotel, be it the Firestone Management. We have been able to tell them that Liberia is Liberia. We have laws on our book. We have the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, and you cannot violate that. So at the end of the day, there are a lot of things that we have done for which the people of Margibi County have called on us and will vote us on the 8th of December 2020.
Okay, all right. Folks, our special studio guest in Liberia is Representative Albert Jones. Now I'm waiting. So, Moses, let me just ask you, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, the honorable man talks about unification. So, what specifically this unification bill that he talks about there? What sort of benefit it brings to the people of Mount Gidi County?
Well, what I know of is this issue of the unification land, which residents of the area have resided on for years as squatters. So it was during the groundbreaking ceremony of the RIA to Iyadoye Junction Road that Honorable Jones was able to petition the government of Liberia, and President Weah was present, calling on the government to be able to give legitimate right to citizens of Unification Town, and it was quickly responded to by the president. Since then, I have interviewed Honorable Jones on several occasions. He said they are making all effort, and pretty soon residents of Unification Town are going to own their land. They are going to have legitimate say over the land they are squatting on.
All right, I mean, fair enough. Those are success stories. But I'm not living in my even honorable. I mean, that's what I need to hear that directly from you. Even if the story was told is out there, that's the reason we give you the opportunity. So, well, I think time has caught up with us. I know we're still gonna have more time. Now you are the only candidate for the CDC. Are you confident you're gonna pull it out onward? You have the CPP coalition, 4 parties, Johnny. Now you're no longer independents. Who knows? They're going to take some of your voters away. Are you confident at the end of December 8th? I'm hoping to be there, maybe to be part of to be part of the process. Will you put it out?
We are committed. We have given our words. We are called on our people to come from all, let's say, aspects of the political device to be able to attend on December 8th, 2020, to prove who they are. And we believe that when they come out on December 8th, 2020, they will be casting for no one else but Honorable Albert Jones for the work that he has done relatively over 2+ years. And more to that, in terms of our advocacy, we remain committed in advocating for the people of Margibi County. We remain committed in advocating for the people of District 2. And like people always say, that you are given a tenure of 6 years. Why do you want to aspire for the position of the Senate? Let me say to you, we are not great, but the Constitution is clear. The Constitution is the organic law of our country. We state in Article 1 that all powers are inherent within the people. So if the people of District number 5, of District number 4, of District number 3, and District number 2 believe in the work that we have done in District 2 over the relative short period of time, is convincing that we can represent them at the level of Senate, then who we are no one but 7, and we believe the voice of God is the voice of the people. So we have come today to this position with a willing mind to serve them. And we believe what we have done in District 2, relatively over a short period of time, can transcend beyond District 2 into other districts. And what are those things? We believe in equal opportunity for all. We believe in human capacity building. We believe in infrastructure development. We believe in economic empowerment. We believe in agricultural empowerment. We believe in reconciliation. We believe with those 5 items issues that we have just discussed, Liberia as a country can transcend and be among the developing countries of the world. And we want to encourage our citizens that based upon what we have done, we can rest assured that change must come, and together we can. So we are asking you to go all out in propagating the good work of Papa K. Jones, in propagating the good work of the Congress of Democratic Change over a relative 2 years period. That the thing that the Congress of Democratic Change has done has gone beyond the aspiration of Liberia, and no other government in the Republic of Liberia ever done that. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me see. I got a caller here. Caller, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry for holding you all long, but the honorable man was responding. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Emmanuel here. I'm calling from Rhode Island.
Okay, go ahead, email.
Honorable June, my name is Emmanuel here. I think you know me very well. We all do business together at the level of marketing there. Honorable, my question is, you've been serving in the lower house for 2 years now, less than 3 years, and today you are talking about going to the upper house. I want you to be exact to us, Liberians, that tomorrow, what we will judge you by, when you pronounce it today, that when tomorrow comes, you did not do it, that we will one day say, oh, you once said this and you're not doing it. I want you to come up with a fact and tell us what we will hold you on in 2023, or comes another election that when you do not do, we tell people not to vote you out. Tell us.
Go ahead.
Should I respond?
Yes, sir. Yeah, go ahead. Honorable.
Okay, let me say thanks very much to my brother Emmanuel from Rhode Island. Let me say to you, in terms of representation, there are 3 cardinal responsibilities: lawmaking, representation, and oversight. You have seen me exercise those 3 cardinal responsibilities adequately. When you to reference the ARAT report, you will understand that for the past 2 years, that have accumulated A, and not only A, but A plus. So when we just to rely on the 3 cardinal responsibility, it means I have performed not decimally, but more than 100% in terms of the fault that other people are added to our function, which is the social responsibility, I have been able to remit 50% of my salary for direct district development. Those things that you can count on today, we have a district development in which I believe representation is a privilege. And if you are given that privilege, it means that there should be a direct representation of the people. And that direct representation should be done through a participatory form of representation. Today, we have been able to establish a district council, even in our accent. The district council is performing, that you can rely on. So it means that we will be able to transcend the district council beyond district number 2 to a nation, or not only a nation, but a county, let's say a council. More to that, in terms of accountability, we have been able to advocate for the 5 electoral districts to have equal portion of whatever development fund or social development fund that come to the district. Today, the bridge that is in district number 2 that connect district 2, that connect Dolostown and Unification Town, is being erected at the expense of our advocacy. Today, no single citizen of both Unification Town and Dolostown will live in the River again as a result of transportation. They only have to walk freely through the bridge. Not only that, the Farmington Hotel today, citizens of Liberia who are opportune to work at the Farmington Hotel through our advocacy have been able to benefit from a union. And those rights that were given to them that were denied, Farmington Hotel have been able to restore those rights. Farmington Liberia is an example, Children Union is an example, and more to come. So we are telling you, in terms of our function, we are ready, we are prepared and able to represent the people of Margibi well, to the extent that those benefits, the law that should be made on their behalf, the representation that should be made on their behalf, and the oversight that should be made on their behalf is adequately provided.
Okay, all right. We are about to call it for the day, Honorable. Mike Dunn, Moses, right there. We want to thank you so much. Do any of you guys have any final statement before we go to the Honorable for a closing remark?
Yes. Let me just come in. Honorable Jones, first of all, I want to say thank you on behalf of the team here in Liberia. I want to say thank you for coming to LPR studio. But this process, you have some giants, people with political record in the process. In the race to contest. Are you not afraid? Are you not? In terms of winning, not fear per se. Now, are you not afraid of them? Their political weight.
My man, you haven't named a political giant.
For example, the former speaker, former representative Manuel Nukwe.
Let me say to you, there has been transformation in Margibi politics. There has been transformation in the politics of Liberia. Nobody knew yesterday that the president of the Republic of Liberia, George Manuel Weah, will have become president today. Nobody knew yesterday that Abake Jones was defeated on Oba's my predecessor. And I'm saying to you today, mark to this date in your diary, and coming back on the 3rd working Monday again, the 3rd working Monday or the 2nd working Monday in January, and congratulate me. As far as concerned, whoever feels that they are political giant in Margibi County has been defeated for the fact of the matter. They wanted the support of the coalition of Democratic Change and they did not get it. They wanted the support of the President of the Republic of Liberia and they did not get it. Today, they are secretly campaigning that the President of the Republic of Liberia is supporting them, which is false. We are waiting.
So the President is supporting you. The President is supporting you.
Let's understand, Chief. Okay. We are prepared. We are ready to defeat whoever you think is a political giant of Margibi County. Let us understand, politics is not about giant. Politics is about the weight of the people. And the weight of the people will be demonstrated on the 8th of December
No,
2020.
who said giant does not mean that a person has physical strength, but person with popularity, one who can
So,
defeat anybody.
in terms of popularity, you call me the political giant of Maggie County, which we will be winning. So, as far as concerned, there is no big name in Maggie County. The only big name is Honorable Abake Jones of District Number 2, Maggie County.
Okay, all right. Let's go to the Honorable Mike for us to call it for the rest of the day. Again, Honorable, we want to thank you so much for taking all your time. Please, anytime, any hour, we will still call on you when we need more clarification. We want to hear more from you. What would be your final message here to the people of Mount Gibby or Liberians that are listening?
Thank you very much. The issue of it is we do not speculate, we provide facts. So you don't have to call us for clarification. Maybe those information that you will want to have is Google it, PA spelling our name on the largest search engine in the world, and you will be able to get it. But one thing we can say is we want to applaud you and your institution for affording us the opportunity. And we also want to use this medium to call on our citizens, our admirers, and our supporters in the diaspora and in Liberia that we stand to bring a transformation to Margibi County. We believe in the ideology of John F. Kennedy that states, ask now what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. As we place our foot in the political field of Margibi County, it means that we have come with all our heart, with all our soul to bring the real transformation. And those transformations have been seen today in District 2, for which the people of Margibi County have called on us to represent them at the level of the Senate. Let it not be about position. Let it not be about tenure. Because if it was about tenure, it means that we still have 3 years in our position. But it's about serving humanity. It's about making sure that the right thing is done. And what we can tell you is, politics has transcended beyond Margibi County. They have gotten to the national level to the extent that the coalition of democratic change has been able to call on us to endorse us as a web ballot candidate. So we also want to use this occasion to call on those who wanting to contest in the 2020 senatorial election, who believe that our platform, the platform of the coalition of democratic change, is in line with that platform. We call on them not to waste money, not to waste time, because anything other than that, they will expect not less than 52.6% defeat as we did in District Number 2, Margibi County. And we are prepared, we are willing to propagate the news that the Congress of Democratic Change, the coalition of democratic change, has performed, not this money, but beyond the aspiration of the people of Liberia, and is prepared again to represent the people of Liberia in 2020. So we want to say, may God bless Margibi County, may God bless District Number 2, may God bless Liberia Public Radio, and the wider audience for the opportunity that you have given us. Thank you very much.
Okay, there you have it. The sitting lawmaker of District Number 2, Margibi County, Representative Afake Jones, making the first appearance here. Honorable Representative, we want to thank you so much, and we're looking forward to having this sort of conversation. I think it's healthy. It put to rest a lot of apprehension. Thank you so much, and we wish you the best of all luck.
Thank you very much. And I hope right after December 8th, you can give me an invitation to be able to say again to the people of Liberia what I have said here today, that I will become the next senator of the Republic, of Margibi County.
And guess what? October 8th, hopefully from Moroyo to Mount Gibby is a very short distance. I will be at some of those polling centers to see what's going to be going on. And maybe, who knows, I will be around when the results are officially announced.
I'm calling on you not to vote, but to support me in the upcoming December 8th, 2020 central election.
It is against our media industry.
I'm not saying you should vote for me. I'm saying support.
We don't media institution. That thing what they're doing, like, bro, we don't do it here. We don't do it here.
I'm not saying vote for me.
I want that's the support I'm giving you now, to give you the airtime to have the conversation.
The support can transcend beyond only airtime. But let me say to you, let me say to you that in politics, there is no neutrality. If you ever thought there was neutrality in politics, then it means that you are missing it. People can only compress the sound that it takes. So I'm saying, when you to compress that sound, let it be the sound of advocate the coalition of democratic change.
Yeah, and let me just tell you now, I always say as it is, anytime, any hour, any night, when you think you have any information you want to share with us, the Liberian people, come on this network here, we'll give you the opportunity to do that. How's that?
So it means that you agree with me that you are willing to support my political agenda here, the Congress of Democratic Change and the Coalition of Democratic Change.
That's not a mission of this network. We support we support the process. We want a democratic process, free, fair, transparent election. Give everybody the opportunity, like I did. I call all of the participating folks in Mount Gibby. And so I left with them, they want to come. At least you respond that you are here. So if they don't come, they can't tell me, say, I'm biased. How's that?
However the case is, as an individual, not an institution, I'm calling on your support. And if possible, let me go beyond only the support now, because as an institution, I was calling on both. I was calling only the support, but as an individual now, I'm calling on your support and your vote and your membership with the Congress of Democratic Change, not only in the 2020 central election, but going forward.
And let me just tell you, Liberia Public Radio is an independent.
I'm not saying a public radio, I'm saying as a presenter and an individual.
How can I do that, Honorable? How can I do that if I did and I compromise the integrity of this network?
It means that I am an agent of the Congress of Democratic Change. I'm under obligation to recruit whoever I need. Even if I were opportune today to meet the head of the opposition, I'm under obligation to recruit that person. So what I am performing here today.
So don't make us start the interview all over. Why you did not join CDC in the first place, and later on independent carry you, and then you went back. You go.
I'm willing to go even 4 or 5 hours where you to tell me your opportunity. So we will start the interview over if you wish.
Okay, let's leave it this way. We're going to find a time again, and we're going to meet at the Samuel Kayendo Sports Complex, and we're going to get that done. Thank you so much.
What time at the Samuel Kayendo Sports Complex?
As soon as you're pouring in on the stadium there, I like to do my interview in
there's currently.
Okay, all right, then that's cool. Okay. All right, Honorable, thank you so much for being here. It was a wonderful having you here. And more, on a serious note, anytime, that's one of the reasons I wanted you to go to the station site. Anytime you feel there's things that we need to know, you are most welcome, and it goes to everybody for us to have the conversation. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I hope to be in touch, because our brother here, Magdan, is a close friend of mine, and we have done a lot. Also, politics as friends, as young people, in propagating the good news of my Gibby County and Liberia large.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so Mike, do you get a final word before I go? I'm not hearing you. Mike, I'm not hearing you.
Okay, are you getting me now?
Yeah, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Are you getting me now?
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm getting you.
Okay, so I mean, it was quite an interesting interview. It's been a very hectic time, and we want to say thank you for coming, Honorable. And of course, this is what we are in the business of doing for us. Like I usually say, most of the programs, we don't have money, but then what we do here is to provide a platform for people to express and serve as part of our own contribution towards the democracy of Liberia. So, Alfonso, it's been a very much a nice time today, and want to say thank you also for all of what you've been doing. The support, the team here in Liberia is prepared. The team will continue to ensure that the voices of people who want to represent us are heard all across Liberia and all across the world. Liberia Public Radio trying to increase some level of partnership with some of our local community radio stations here. So uh, that's the mission. I'm going to be going on a tour if all things go well to ensure that our partnerships can increase.
All right. Okay. All right, that's our own man there, Mike Dant. I want to thank you so much for this time. Again, I'm Alfonso Zian Sort of the Liberia Popular Radio, 10 LPR TV. We want to thank you so much, Elliot. We were privileged to talk to Dr. Flahn right there from the UK. I want to welcome Dr. William Tuat, is the ECOWAS ambassador. One of the funniest Liberian gentlemen, my own former boss, now ECOWAS ambassador. Around Abuja there. So, folks, we're going to be winding it down. Look, we got a long way to go in Liberia, and all of us have to step to the task. And for people who like to do salad dressing, I'm not a kind of type of person here because all of these people, we need to ask them questions. All right, we need to ask them tough questions why they want to do certain things because it's just not only with the executive branch of government. They also have a responsibility to do that. And we are extending invitation to the other folks, Honorable Cooper, Oscar Cooper, the incumbent. We will try to reach Mr. Nokwe as well. The only female Kennedy, and she pledged to appear here, and then in the dying minute, there was a cancellation. So, okay, that's up to her. But again, we'll still reach out to them to make sure to be here. This Sunday, we're going to be a big musical concert. And our quest to hear permanent Grenadians, to hear from them is still on the rise. I will be hosting former Representative Willem Glay. Willem Glade is a former representative of Grand County during the presidency of the late President Samuel Kanyando. He is currently based here in the United States of America, near the capital of Washington, D.C. We're going to be bringing him here as well. We have to get everybody take. And I don't usually respond to comments, and somebody was asking here that you call Grenadians goat. People that behave the way they behave, they can be classified as goats. You don't like people to pull you by your nose and consistently continue to use you. We all of us belong into that county. It is our county. And for few politicians, greedy politicians, to allow the young generation who they are not willing to help to build their human capacity to achieve their political and self-aggrandizement ambition, it is ridiculous. Yes. We say it. We frown on the behavior of students that was behaving irresponsibly at the University of Liberia. It seems that go to all of my podcasts and follow Liberia Public Radio. We are not this sort of type of funny things that go around here. This is how we don't worry about who watching, who's not watching. What is important, the message contained and the authenticity of the conversation. That's why we are interested in. And to hold everybody responsible, be it the government or the opposition. Ask the Zolizo. I extended him an invitation. But because of this sort of circumstantial belief or the mindset of people, oh, you're this person here, or people think they want to have a second path, they come here, they want to answer some specific question, this and that. The representative here today was not answering my questions. So these are people that we need to take a careful look, and this is why we try to do it differently. Whether he likes it or not. They ask you a simple question. You need to answer it. And as a politician, even if you want to pivot the question, there is a mature way of which that question can be answered. And back to Madam Hammond, so what I was angry? Yes, I am angry. Let me just pour the question. I'm angry because I feel strongly my country is not being treated right. And I feel strongly that my county, Grand Jita County, was used as a scapegoat by few politicians from Morovia or also in Grand Jita. And I did not jump to this conclusion. I interviewed the superintendent. And the information that I gathered, the secret superintendent, I don't see it authentic. I don't agree with the reckless behaviors of what his name, Yeke Kolobat. We have said that. We condemn the act by which even Costa, who was calling on other Grenadians, and Alexander Kumin did not come out. We don't back down. We are not in the pocket of anything. This is why this network here is being sponsored by its own members and goodwill Liberians. If you are in the US, you watch the National Public Radio, NPR. And this is why our independence is, we can boast of that. Not a single politician will come also. This is what we did for LPR. When we want to do a fundraiser, we put it out there to Liberian. It is your property. But at the same time, it is our responsibility when we sit on this microphone. We need to tell you what you need to know, not necessarily what you want to hear. And this is a problem with Liberians. They go on platform with the mindset of things that they want to hear, those rare meat, those sound bites that they want to hear. It is not helping our country. If the government does it wrong, we say it. When the opposition does it wrong, we say it. We are on an obligation to tell you the real story. We make it proportionate. We are not judgmental. We bring both sides together and give them the fair share until they can fire in their own legs. Neither am I more Grenadian than any other person, but when it is wrong, it is wrong. If it is right, it is right. This time around, the politicians, Liberian-based, Moravia-based politicians, and this is why they had a council. And this is why prominent Grenadians. And I understand we are all from diverse background. There will be dissenting views on this, but this time around, they are pictured about they are demonized our country. And we also frown on the rest of the Liberian, who always get the mindset that one person does it wrong, instead of us pursue that person or hold those group of individuals that get it wrong for the laws of the land to apply. We put everybody in a basket of deplorable. That is ridiculous, and we need to stop that. And they failed to realize there were some other Grenadians who stood their ground, who were protecting Yeke Koluba. Why? Otherwise, that's the beauty of democracy. And I also respect your opinion, your view to say, okay, what they did was right. And you also must respect my opinions. That's how I see it, and that's how I'm going to address it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to put no fist of bread with peanut butter and jelly when I know that you don't deserve to get peanut butter and jelly. What happens? It was ridiculous. They just put us into public ridicule, as if all of us or people, Grenadians, are not warlike. Grenadians are not warlike people. They are very decent people until you get in our will, until you think that you can abuse our right. Then you can see the ugly side of Grand Jita. And we want you to understand, Grand Jita is not a republic. It is part of a Liberia. There's no way that we can undo ourselves from being part of Liberia. And Liberia cannot undo them. So those other politicians who are also talking, okay, Grand Jita does not have the vote, they are talking stupidness. They don't know what they are talking. They are immature politicians. And that's what I'm saying. The both opposition, they too, they do not have really no good idea. Because Cummins too who have condemned that. But they are all into the hands or pockets of Henry Costa and some of these so-called advocates, and they think they can just say anything to any group of people. Look, the days of doing that in the 90s, and the thing that they had the media to their industries where people's voices were sanctioned, it is not those days. Even if I'm in Liberia here, we will say it as it is. Even when George Weah come on this network, we will tell him as it is, but we will give him the due respect as the president of the Republic of Liberia. So it is ridiculous to see lawmakers climbing over cars, behaving like a little monkey and acting crazy. It does not show any signs of good sense of judgment or responsibility. We are front on all of those issues. Go back to the post, go back to all of our videos, how we talk, how we communicate with the people. We'll keep doing what we are doing. We believe we have a lot. If Liberia is to be a good governance, a good country, all of us. The ideas of individual drowning themselves to individual to say, yeah, this guy, he's our political gladiator. We should learn how to build institutions. That's what we are not doing. That's why sometimes I see people go, oh my goodness, people don't know what they are doing. Where is the TWP today? The True Party. Where is the NDP? Unity Party is in turmoil. ANC is being fragmented. I interviewed Kwame Clement, Walmer Ray, and all of that. We know what's going on. Liberty Party is the same way. And you now have another coalition to Rainbow Coalition. It's because people are insincere, people are dishonest, people do not believe building institutions. Instead, they surround themselves around individual. And when that person is faded away, the institution collapses. And you Liberian people, you support those sort of bad behavior. This is why we do not have a structure. We do not have a structure in place. You take one person to be your God, you worship that person. Even when the person doing the wrong, you do not have the guts, you do not have the courage to tell them, yes, I love you. Yes, you are doing the wrong thing, but this time you get a side of the history wrong. And that's why some of them are very selective and are very careful which network to go to. Because we don't, if you're a baby, don't come on this network here. If you think you're going to have a Sherman Brown type of question, yes or no, don't come here. But we're for you the opportunity. We extend you the opportunity. We're still waiting for Senator Yombli Kanga Lawrence. Tai Wongbe. I had a very great conversation with Madam Edith Gonglo, one of the politicians in recent time that I believe articulated. Does that mean I'm going to support her? That's not my job. I'm here to facilitate the process and give the eye opening to you, the Liberian, to decide. But until you decide to blindfold your own eyes, it's up to you. This is the 21st century. Nobody going to spoon feed anybody. And we strongly believe that these politicians must be held accountable. And we believe in that. However, we're not disadvantaged them. We'll make the information proportionate by extending them the invitation. We will not be judgmental. We will not sanction their views. Even if we disagree with them, we'll call them here. And this is why we always create civility on this network. That's why I make out like Bureau Popular that there's a distinctions with any other institution. I cannot argue for them, but I can argue for this network that the records are there. That's why some people one day today say, oh, this person is this way. The next day is that. Because why? We look at the issue and we address it with authenticity and real issue based on the facts that we obtain. And if all of the networks, the podcasts and what is going on here, and we know the public relation aspect that is involved, that articulating be it the opposition or the government agenda. But one thing we must all know, we all have a responsibility. Whether one person or two person is listening, we are on an obligation that we are doing it to share information. And those information must be authentic. They must be genuine. They must be for our good of our country. What cause do I have to bring Dr. Flahn? He would have chosen not to come. He's living a decent life. But this is how national government and local government, they fail to tap into the expertise of their own. He listened to his story. He was a valedictorian of his class, which the former president, the late president, Dr. William Richards Turbo, served as a guest speaker. And he listened to this young man. Leaders, you look out for the smart one. If anybody you get what they call fish brain, no need for the country to waste their time. And Turbo said, I need to talk to that young man. And he did. And they shared note. Because he saw something of a quality in him that in the long run, in the future, he will bear fruit. And it is evident today. And he told the Minister of Information then, Jackson Doe, according to the story of Dr. Flahn, gave the young man scholarships. His quest is to pursue his education. Dr. Bullitt validated that. He mentioned it. Those are not my words. I didn't put that into his mouth. And he was given a scholarship to the UL, graduated from the AME Doctor Medical College. And his course was so advanced. And government helped to facilitate that now in the UK as a surgeon. So while national government and local leader, he's a son of Grand Jide. So I'm wondering how many Lothians, Bazorians, and other Kemantinians and other people out there in the diaspora, other part that have the expertise. If the local leaders, if national government could look out for those people, those technocrats, those professionals. But one thing I come to realize during my couple of visits in Liberia, our people, they are so protective of their jobs. So the insecurity is in them. That even if you go for ordinary visit, you talk to them and say this man can't look for a job. It's not an issue of job. Why you think Barack Obama maintained Bill Gates as a defense secretary? He was a Republican, but there was something that he saw in him. This is what we want to instill in our government and even opposition. All of these people are so hungry lions. You can't, saying what they are behaving, you have more than 20 some more political parties. Let me play the devil advocate here. Let's say George Weah, even though his administration, they are doing some ridiculous thing here. But these people here, these people that I'm looking at now, can we trust these people with state power? They need to grow as a mature politician. They need to grow as a mature people to be able to have state power. Because some of the things that comes from their mouth, their conversations, their action does not show anything that the international community can either do business with them. And every Liberian will need to hold these people accountable. We have come a long way. We talk about Ghana, we talk about Cote d'Ivoire, we talk about these other countries here and there. It doesn't come so easily. We need to make some hard choice, hard call decision. The country just observed for 173 independence. And you have leaders, they can't even say anything, they don't have no vision. This is not a popularity contest. We're looking for visionary people that have their country at heart. So I can get upset when I strongly feel, and if it is evident that these people do not mean well for our country. How many of the advocates we can count today? Very few, very, very few. Including those who are even frowning on George Weah today. They all help to bring George Weah to get us to be where we are. So what they want to tell us is because of, for some political reasons or whatever reason, they didn't see their way through. So they back off. And they are like a roaring lion moving, jumping from party to party. Oppositions cannot strengthen their own opposition going over to ruling party. Everybody want to be part of the honey bar. Look, every bad soul needs a bad medicine. So we have to say it. For those of you who in a Zion Grove Baptist, when your politicians, people you believe in, they're doing it wrong and you don't have the guts to tell them, it's not with some of us. We get tons of them. They are friends in the government, friends in the opposition, but we stand firm and strongly believe of our convictions and the principles that bear within us. We have to say it. If they want to undo the friendship, so be it. But I can tell you, it has to be a consolidated effort. All of us. If the people in the opposition community can stand up to the task of people in the opposition, some of their ridiculous comments, their actions, their way of doing things, if we can stand up to them, it will be fine. People in the government side, if they can stand up to the government, hey, we support you, but this is it. And few people has come up to do that. So we got to give them the credit as well. The entire country is infested with malicious young people that are supposed to be doing vocational trainings, be going to capacity building institutions, either MVCT. But what happens? You had another honorable man say 50% of his salary. That's not, and he can't even tell us one piece of legislation that the people of Mangibi. Yet he wants to go to the Senate again. Is that what we should listen to? Those people must be held accountable. We're looking for a long-term goal. You can have the short-term, but you must let a person establish something that these people. That's the kind of politics they have created so that people will be beggar. because they want to stay on Capitol Hill and make this fabulous, get this fabulous paycheck. I don't see my state senator here, Jack Reed or David Cicilline here, turn to humanitarian, turn to some sort of relief here. They put piece of legislation, they put laws into handbook that will alleviate these sort of loopholes and give the people the voice. That's the work of a lawmaker. All the 103, if you do a good check, all of them get their own NGOs. They take government, use government, and reward their own institution with institution. But you have the National Rehabilitation Commission that should address the plight of these young kids, these people that partake in the war. They are not taking the bottom to top approach. And the things are just going to go away like that. They enjoy these children here, hanging on their car, sinking all day. We can't get tired because they give them left few hand out. Be it opposition or government, you should frown on those sort of politicians. And where the children of these people, they are in Google school, some of them out of the country. But they have the children there, they're frustrating their life because they want them to always be running behind their cars. Then I will sit down here and say, we can't talk. Of course we will talk. For us, sagaciously, we use the beauties of this social media that we will inform, we will educate, and tell you it as it should be, not necessarily what you want here. Oh, Abraham Dallon this, no, no. That's not what we do here. And that's why some of them don't want to come. Now that we have now extended that invitation, because they know they know where they are coming. We're not going to spoon feed it. So whether you're a senator or you're a representative for Sando County, as long as I'm a Liberian, you are accountable to me. And that's what we're going to be doing. Well, time has caught up with us here, and that's what get me angry when I see this honest group of people who always in the tendency to rob their country. Then they feel good, and when they travel other places, they see that. There are three branches of government. It's not just only with the president, all of us. Everybody corrupt. Diaspora community, look at these organizations all broken down because of financial improprieties. Everybody is corrupt. Everybody dishonest. But yet we want to have a good country. How can you have a good country? That even the person that you're doing it, you do not even have the courage one day to look into that face if he or she does it wrong, to say, no, you are on the wrong side of history. All you hear, advocates, opposition, government, everybody give justification to their action. Why you're talking now? The other people did it the other time. You're not talking, you want to talk now. Yes, maybe that time we never have, we never had the opportunity, or there was no outlet for us to have such a public outburst. That's inexcusable. It doesn't mean because it was wrong yesterday, we can't fix it today. So you see this pattern consistently over and over and over, cross-pollinating. From one side, it comes to this other side. Telling time, they give it CDC time now. By the time ANC count, or whoever coalition, the 400 political party, when they start doing their own, then they will say, oh, CDC, you are doing it yesterday. Is that the kind of life? Is that how we're going to make our country to prosper? Here, you got to be an adult to listen to us. Because sometimes we talk things that you don't necessarily want to hear, and you have the right to disagree with us. But we strongly believe our job here is to inform you, to unveil the facts, the truth, and you can make your own decision. But I think the building of that country, it is not with only the executive branch of government. From what I see in that country, what is happening in and out, even if you take Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton here today and go make them president and vice president, it won't work. It will be the same old thing. But until we can have men and women that have the fear of God and the love of their country, that's the only way. And we must be willing to accept some hard changes That's the only way. Transformation is not a honey bar. People will feel bad down the road and people will feel good. But guess what? We will get there. People must be held accountable. Now, when the minister steal, then you use a big word, you modify it, the man embezzle. But when the little man take it and he say he steal, you call it as it is. And these people, some people needs to be behind bar in that country. And there's still lottery around. That's why we have what we have. The entire society is completely polluted. I saw it on our website here. There's a story, 53-year-old pastor, to show how bad and wicked that country is. This is why we are not making progress. We have to address the real issue. We're taking it from the top and we live in the middle, we live in the bottom. Church everywhere. Corruption. Where people are supposed to go to get redemption and salvation. 53-year-old man having an affair with 13-year-old. Can you imagine? Then we profess to be a nation, a Christian nation. We are a Christian nation. We are a devil nation, a Christian nation. And this is why God is vexed with us. Every Sunday, everybody tidy ahead. Your back windshield said you can't even see through your view mirror. They go to church and put their hands up. They say they're worshiping. God's need to start slapping and cutting people's fingers in that place. That's the only way we come together. Well, folks, we're going to leave it here today. We're going to be back here on Sundays. We want to call you to join it. There's a group here, the Jubilees Productions, and that of Liberia Public Radio. There will be a virtual musical concept, 20 artists, Liberia, USA, and Europe, going to be here for the fundraiser. They are building the facility. They are putting food on the people's table. When it comes to giving good cause, your Liberian people, you don't give. But you can go for their body. You can go for all kinds of crazy things without accountability. Crazy thing that no accountability. But this is a ministry. They are investing in Mount Gibby and Kakata. And guess what? The group that are involved, the lady, I was shocked. I have them. She's not even from Mount Gibby. She's from Sano. But I think it is on humanitarian ground that she's doing it. I challenge you. She's humanitarian. She's nationalist. She didn't say, oh, because I got to care to Sano County or for Grand Gita, I got to do it from Grand Gita. No. She saw the need. Places that should be to handle. Potentially, it can go all across the country. But myself, the mean attitude that we get in us, very mean set of people. Once they find with you, you don't care how your next neighbor feeling. Everybody for themselves. Yet and say we are a Christian nation. And it's so ridiculous. People cussing. Women and all can be telling the people, your cause, do this. Can you imagine? But Liberians love listening to ugly stuff. And this is why ugly things always happening. It is biblical. What comes out of your mouth? Life and death is between your tongue, right? Things that come from out of your mouth. You think God can get vexed? God gave you the mouth to do something special. If you're using it wrongly, sometimes then God said can confuse the leader. And then that infliction, that punishment comes to you so that all of y'all will feel it. Do you think things that are happening in that country, do you think it is normal? The behaviors of some of the leaders, ordinary citizens, everybody, the way people are behaving around you, do you think it's normal? It's under normal circumstances? I don't think so. People are confused. People are disoriented. And if you don't have a sense of thought, that's what happens. And so sometimes if the country is so wicked, then I believe God will say, okay, the only way I can get everybody to come to their senses to feel their pain, I will even confuse the leader. And when what happened when the leader is confused, all will suffer. Everybody, whether you like it or not, until we can make a good turning point. So the problem in Liberia is volatile. If somebody thinks, say, oh, let me just do this and we'll get there, it will be solved. I'm waiting to see that time. If you can't conduct yourself responsibly, you want to be a leader, and you're acting like a little toddler, then you think when you get there to be a leader, you think people are going to respect you too? No vision. No vision. It's just all about themselves. All of these groups you see here flying all around here like some kind of poo fly all over the place. So greedy people, they just want to go loot that country the same way other people looted the country. So they are all pissed. Because I'm not saying the authenticity in them. They're not, other than they are fake. They get there, they will start putting people who in government who are incompetent, who can get a job done. It will be the same old thing. Nothing going to change. We know that. Nothing going to change. If it will change, we need to see it. They need to exhibit it. They need to walk the walk. That's how you see when changes, a real change is coming. Fire cannot put out fire. I wish I was talking for the government or even talking for the opposition. I won't be writing stupid comments. I won't be doing stupid stuff. When the government does it wrong, I will capitalize on the wrongness of the government and put up something tangible for the people to draw the conclusion. But the man doing it the ugly way, then you're doing it the ugly way. Then you say you want to take state power. How can we give you state power? The people's hearts are bleeding. The people are hurt. Well, listen to some of these people are like, oh my gosh, I feel bad. Liberia probably needs to go on a trusteeship. That's the only way. I strongly believe that. It needs to go on a trusteeship. Well, folks, we're going to leave it here for the rest of the evening. I don't know. Sometimes it's like, it's not worthy. But I can for sure say that's their ploy. That's a political ploy. We keep doing what we're doing. They will get tired and they will not talk. I'll tell you what. We will not get tired for us talking. I'm not talking about other crazy tire where they're just jumping all in the street, sweating like some kind of Christmas goat, and they don't think about what they are doing. They don't know the sort of impact. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about we're not going to get tired. We're going to have a conversation. We will ask these people that are doing these things there, we will put them on record. Thank God. Mike Zuckerberg brought Facebook now. I don't have to go to EFBC or I don't have to go to somewhere to grant me a pass to do it. I can let my own. The podcast is right now on our official website. It's on our Facebook. It's on our Twitter feed. It's on the YouTube. I'm the only person can delete it, or the station manager not poor. I'm not going to delete it because he believes in transparency. We try to give voice to the people. Neither Samson or Mike Dunn. So we have the authority. You either choose not to watch it, which is okay, but you're going to be there. But until we can all exhibit a sense of genuine forgiveness, everybody will all hurt from be it the war or what is ongoing. But we need to put our acts together. Nigeria fought the Biafra War, the very US here. They were in wars. And what happens? They have to swallow some bitter pills. So these conversations that we are having, they are very hardcore conversation. If your baby cry, if tear can come from your eyes so much, don't come here. because you're going to add more to your tears. Because sometimes you hear things that you don't want to hear. But we have to talk about them. And we believe that when we talk about them, we let them out, they go away. That's why we don't hide anything. We have to talk about it to get other people's side of the story. We all went through a terrible time, and we're still going through those terrible times. But until we Liberians, we can put on that garment of bent nationalists and love our country and look even into the eyes of our brothers and sisters immediate if they are not doing it the right way and tell them, do not buy people. You can only say when the person is no longer there. You're not helping the process. You are adding up to the already problem on ground. And these are the people that have the problem. The support people and the people doing wrong thing, they make some statement comments. And nobody talk about it. We are not selective in our conversation. When we see it, we talk about it. You like it, you not like it, that's your business. Don't listen. That's it. But we strongly believe we need a real approach, realistic approach to change the politics of Liberia. And I think we need mature politicians, people with tolerance, politicians who can just jump and start talking, politician who is patient, who is tolerant and listen to signal that even the whatever the person is saying, it might sound so bad, it might sound so, but wait for the conclusion. That's how other people, the writing, their main idea from the up from some in the middle, some at the end. This is why people opinions or views are so important. Do not shut people off. Oh, that one coming to the one you coming to, it doesn't make sense. We don't want to listen to the person. Because simply the person did not glorify you. Because all our people nowadays, politicians, they're looking for glorification. Somebody asked me why as Nyombli Kanga or not Nyombli Kanga to Manam Ide Gonglo where what I should declare her. I said, why can I ask? Those were the questions we didn't ask today that will get us to be where we are. So they won't go to the Senate now. Why can't we know what they are taking? We are carrying with them. Well, folks, let's leave it. It's 4:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Liberia stories always are endless stories, but I will keep talking. We'll keep talking. And please, for those of you who support the government, and yeah, people will always take side. It's normal. It's everywhere. Donald Trump, as much he's a cuckoo hair guy here, there are people who also are die hard for him. You need to understand that. Opposition need to understand that. In as much George Weah is the bad guy or is this administration, remember, there are people, there are ties, people link. So the idea that if this guy here is still there, there are other people that attach, whether you like it or not, but that's the realistic approach. So if I were articulating their message, I won't call them tiny seditions. I will use a softened tone to assure, to give them reassurance, even though they are on this side here, and I will make them to know what they are doing. Their support is misjudgment, but I will do it in such a way that they will see a line of reasoning, that they will see accommodation. How many of the opposition, they don't do that? You go there, the people that are already in power, whether you like it or not, you have the disadvantage. It's not America. Third world countries, to take on sitting government is not easy, whether you like it or not. There are a lot of households, a lot of things involved. It's not like America, or it's not like the West. So you have to be very careful with word choices. You must be persuasive. But you call the people causing, then you too, you go cause. That's what happened during the crisis. Everybody found Charles Taylor in as much he was the Buku man, but we will catch people will kill them. So people that are with him, You already send a message to them. So he, the person as the angel of them, he will tell them, if you surrender to those people, they will kill you because of me. So what he did now, he cleverly created a everlasting fear in them. So they better like, okay, we'll stay with the angel that we know than the devil that we have not seen. So until the opposition, they can get mature and soften their political tone and take the realistic approach and discuss those issues that are affecting Liberians day to day in a civilized manner. And not just sit down somewhere in your comfortable area and just say you're going to insult. You scare the people away. What courage do they have to come to your side? Then they will stay there and die into it. Then it becomes a power fight. So what is happening is a power struggle. And when power struggle kicks in, I want to win, you want to win, and then we are all thrown at a crossroad. You got to come to your senses. We can't. I don't trust them. I don't trust our politician today. The days of Moses Washington, when there were like many warriors and all of those people at the Ministry of Information, when things happen in government, it gets right on top of it. But you have a deputy minister who is a deputy minister of public affairs, happens to be one of the official spokespersons of the government, also always exacerbate, creating flame. Stuff are happening in Grand, and then he tweeting something not up into it. But what kind of minister who does that? What sort of message you sending? So until we can have mature and responsible people who are willing to listen and understand that they are working for the sovereign country, a government, that comes with responsibility. It comes with being disciplined, bottom line. Some government officials not disciplined, some opposition not disciplined. So when we even take this group from there and put the other group there, Creole men say ekupasma. So what sort of war are we living in? And then you asking me, I'm angry? Of course I am angry. Because we have, some of us have friends from different nationality. And they're all seeing what is unfolding. If you're not angry, I am angry because I am not happy. I feel my country is being robbed. Daytime, nighttime, morning time, all night.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give me your attention. The BK's voice concert at all times will be unleashed on the diaspora informative news outlet Liberia Public Radio LPR TV on August 9, 2020 in collaboration with the Jubilees Productions. Oh yes, my mouth is watering and can't wait. The concert will be featuring big names in the gospel industry from Liberia, USA, and Europe. It's under the auspices of Martha E. Ramsey Memorial Academy with the caption, Build the Bridge. The foundations and organizer wholeheartedly counts on your blessings for the work in Liberia. Fundraise will go 100% to the work of the missions in Liberia. Our work includes feeding the widows, single, and the elderly, and most importantly, for the completion of the school project at the cost of US $15,000. COVID-19, no COVID-19, the work of the foundation must be addressed. Get ready as we peruse the names of the artists to be live before your very eyes on August 9, 2020. The crew will be led by Minister Rose Kofa, Otis Weah, one into Boardwalk, Dennis Joma, Joseph Bass, Miata Kamara, Matthias Salif. That's not all. Wait to hear more. Marilyn Myers, K. Praise, Lucio Salif, Samuel Ba, Maya Montalvo, Bala, Wayne Joy, Ibrahim Tape, Rose Winto, Laz B, Prince Shimon, and Marvin the Gonzo. Folks, it will be spiritually filled and musically entertaining. But remember, it's a fundraiser. Now, to wrap it up, the owner of the microphone and the one who does it right behind the mic, LPR New England Bureau Chief Alfonso Zienso from the Ocean State of Rhode Island will be the protocol officer.